play bass guitar.
Okay, cool. How's your demo been selling?
All right. You know, we put it out about 2 months ago, and it's been selling all right. Can't complain.
I'd say like 300 copies so far.
I'm hoping to do a 7-inch soon.
I don't even remember that.
Some label from Colorado wants us to do a 7-inch for it. So we're probably going to head into the studio soon for that. Put 2 tunes on there. And then I'll take care of that.
How'd that show in New York go with the season?
Which one? In DC, you mean?
Can you play
New York?
New York.
Oh, the right track?
Yeah, the right track.
It went all right, but it was like the local radio station around us, the only one who plays like the metal scene that we play. And they had canceled it the night before. And then the next day, it was reopened and no one knew about it, so no one really showed up.
It was like
But it was all right.
Bands, pretty much.
We had a good time.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from, Long Island. Suffolk County.
Is there any place to play out there?
Yeah, Sundance, the place we played on with the C's right track in. There's another club called February's in Belmont. That's about it. Not that much to play.
You gotta try to get into the Sundance.
What?
You gotta try to get into the Sundance.
Yeah, we're not in there, but they're like to work with bands that aren't signed, really. They give us a hard time. So we look forward to traveling. It's much better. Have a better time and shit.
Alright, this is Death Metal Podcast, part 2 of the G. Willikers episode, like I promised here. So, we had to split this up into 2 parts, basically. So this is part 2, the G. Willikers Retrospective. So we'll probably speak on or send a few invites to some other people, too. That was members of Suffocation being interviewed outside of G. Willikers. So thanks for hopping over to another stream, guys. I appreciate that. I have to do this just for YouTube's sake, in a way. And, people get scared when they see a 17-hour stream, don't they? So we're going to play some more music that was from G. Willikers, some more interviews, try to get a few more guests on here. And then, I'm going to step up to the plate, bro. So here we go with some incantation.
What?
This is the G. Willikers episode, which is all old shows, which were mostly between like 1990 and 92, 93 around. That's around when like kind of death metal petered out at G. Willikers. I would say like a while after they had this bolt thrower show, there was like a violent event that happened with these like Nazi skinhead guys, and some bullshit went down. And shortly after that, I noticed things kind of petered out down there. I know that they did have some kind of like mortal decay guys years later, or maybe Crucifier. They had some kind of like reunion-y type thing, but I don't think it was at G. Willikers. So yeah, man, switched over, definitely, dude. Thank you for everyone that hopped over to the other stream, man, because basically I can't trust the YouTube freaks out there. Frank Gamble, I sent you and I sent Chris Gamble invite if you guys want to come on and talk about G. Willikers. So definitely check your, what do you call it? Check your social media, whatever, Facebook. So yeah, we're going to play some more videos, and then a couple more interviews and cool stuffs. This was a band called Resurrection. They were an old 1990 band that played around a lot with Revenant and stuff. And then the member from Resurrection, the sound guy, he ended up being the Death sound guy.
Video fanzine, right?
Right, yeah.
Good luck with it.
Thanks a lot.
It must be
Send us
pretty
a
cool.
copy.
It's pretty thick. It's just cool because you can have an interview with some band, like underground band, order the demo, and then you can go like to the next segment. Oh wow, here's a a band on live or something, which would be really cool.
Some good luck with it. If it's cool, can we film you tonight? Because we usually put live clips and shit.
That's
You wanna
fine.
put a couple fucking live clips in
That'd
it?
be cool.
That's cool.
I mean, once again,
just like
thanks a lot,
just show the
everybody.
pictures, not the sound. The sound system sounds pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's a
If
good
anyone's
sound,
interested, just like order the demo and hopefully we'll have some vinyl out soon.
man. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, thanks
guys.
again.
Thanks, man.
Take it easy, guys.
Appreciate it.
Hey.
Right, guys. So that was some brutal truth coming from live from G Willikers too. Wish I could have caught brutal truth in this era. They broke up the first time about 2 years after I got into them. Yeah, they what do you call it? They Dan Lilker was singing in these stages still too, so it was kind of cool. It was like one of their earlier gigs. So yeah, they played over there too. What happened to Gurn? I'm not sure. The we're gonna go back in time a little. I had a different video from the same we showed them earlier, but this is a different video, I think, a different angle.
Thank you. We have demos for sale or 89 Soul Burns demo. $3. We're gonna be recording a 7-inch this summer. 4 new songs. Should be out by late summer. This is one of the songs off the new one. This one's called English.
All right, so that was Fatal. They had driven from Michigan to play G Willikers in 1990. So that's pretty sick shit. They were definitely tight too. And all the John Verica videos, fucking shout out to John Verica, dude, you know? And Frantic Annie for throwing all those sick shows. So this is the part 2 of the G Willikers stream. So on the earlier one, we had Alex from Immolation, who played in Gorephobia, and John from Necrosion, and Drew Elliott even hopping on there. Because as a fan, he was there like I was, like a fan, you know? Just chilling, you know? What do you call it? So we're going to play some more videos. We're going to go more into the black metal zone right here. Crucified. All right, so that was Crucifier. That was an early Crucifier show, and I went to the first Crucifier show. I remember it was very blasphemous. Like they had like a goat, and like the cops came and stuff, and like I think someone got arrested. So like they wanted to know like what the deal was with the goat, you know, and that big cross and everything. And I'm not sure if it was that same show because I didn't see the goat there, but yeah, it was crazy shit. The textbooks of Death Metal University will be expensive. I'd say so. I mean, I put my 10,000 hours in. Isn't it 10,000 hours? And yeah, Fatal was from Michigan. So yeah, that's why I mentioned that offhand. So yeah, for sure, Death Metal University. I mean, if you guys like More Than Red, man, that's cool too. I mean, whatever. It's all metal, right? It's better that you watch that than Britney Spears. All right, so Death Metal Podcast, we're back. That was Immolation. And yeah, that was Neil Boback on the kit, though. So that wasn't Craig Smilowski at that moment. No problem, brother. I mean, he did join shortly after, so we were a community, basically, you know? It's like I wasn't in a band, but I would hang around with Incantation, which led me to, you know, I would go to Immolation shows, but then we saw Agoraphobia, and Profanatica was around, and Ripping Corpse. Primeval, I would go to see a lot of their shows in New York. And, yeah. Here's another man who is part of the G. Willikers legacy.
Oh, wow, yo.
What's going on? We wanted to have you and your brother on here to talk a little bit about G. Willikers, my brother.
Yeah, man, I'm all kinds of... I was so super busy today. I got back from Jim Rose's house.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was recording today up there. We're making new songs up there.
Nice.
My voice is a little shot.
Yeah,
so when
no
I
doubt.
got home, I'm sorry. If I'm cracky or a little out of it, man, I'm just kind of a little bit getting my second win, Roy.
Yo, so tonight what we did on Death Metal Podcast is I basically did an episode earlier, which is this is a retrospective to basically talk just about G. Willikers, basically, and the fucking bands that played there, about Frantic Ann, you know, hooking up shows, about even, you know, Alex was mentioned offhand, like how you and him would find bands to play shows like Fatal or, you know what I mean? And you were very instrumental in G. Willikers and some of the bands that came there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Alex and I were doing a fanzine with another friend of ours in the neighborhood, Greg Pitluski.
Right.
And we were doing all that. And it's kind of, you know, basically, you know how it goes, where it's like, we had the connections and had the club.
Yeah.
She needed bands. We wanted bands here. So we can bring them in. She could put them up.
Right.
So this worked.
I had the same deal with my show bookings because I had a girl. There was a girl who was my friend's girlfriend. They had the club, Hartley's. You played there.
Yeah, it was
and then
nice.
I was the person who could bring the bands in. You know what I mean? So like it worked out like perfect. Like it was like a winning combination.
It's nice when things can pan out that way, but it's like the people and the connections have to kind of match.
Yeah, it's just got to align quite well. And
sometimes
I felt that
it works out, sometimes it don't. But yeah, that was.
I felt G. Willikers was very like instrumental in what I do now and how I live now and what, you know, because of some of the things I saw at G. Willikers. You know what I mean? Beyond just the show, but like say like Relapse vending out of their trunk, or meeting with the bands and talking to them about like distributing their stuff, or you know, like even I was saying earlier about sending Agoraphobia tapes out to people, you know what I mean, or seeing Agoraphobia without actually hearing your tape beforehand, which was definitely something for me, man, you know?
Yeah, we were all talking about shop with each other, and then it's like before we were actually playing, we're all talking shop about everything we like,
Right.
and it networked into this thing. It's like, well, let's see what this is all about and put it together, and boom, it just kind of it climbed,
Yeah.
and it was a good thing. It's a good networking thing, completely for the East Coast.
It was, and then even like Drew,
Here.
yeah, Drew Elliott was on, and he mentioned offhand, he said, you know, this was like all East Coast motherfuckers would come to this show. It would be like people from New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, New York, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
we
of
did.
course your Philly people, you know?
Yeah, and then we got there because there wasn't so much. You know, the network of Philly, it wasn't really as big as the city is. It wasn't as big, thriving heavy metal sort of underground town.
Right.
But New York was close enough to
Yeah.
keep things, connected. To connect the dots here, just like Baltimore and D.C. You know, when because Ex Mortis was still around at the time, and all that, and that's what George used to come and hang out with us. Immolation bought Unleashed over when they were still kind of a demo band and all that,
Right.
and we were all hanging out in Kensington, the worst
Right.
areas of town. We're hanging out down there.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
had, I remember Johnny had a bag of tapes. He had Afflicted, Crematorium, Nihilist, Grave. I bought every tape he had with him.
Nice.
What was the other one? On Earth? What was it? On Earth?
Unleashed was his band.
Yeah, not Unleashed. It was another one. On Earth?
Unanimated?
Unanimated. That's the one.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are all staple fucking Swedish death metal demos.
Yeah, before our internet stage, we caught like those early 90s were like the last stage of all that really true fanzine tape trading thing. And Dave Pagion was in our
That's what I
neighborhood.
said earlier. I was like, yo, I bought a tape from Dave Pagion in the fucking parking lot, and it had Autopsy, and it had Autopsy on it, and it had a Repulsion Rehearsal. And Dave Pagion was like, hey, you want to buy a tape? And I'm like, what is it? And he showed me his Autopsy tape, and he goes, there's 2 new songs on there that aren't on the album.
Right.
I was like, give that fucking tape, motherfucker.
And you know what's funny? He kind of looked like you. You two
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
were
Short
brothers
hair,
back in the day, but
tall,
he was
skater
tall like
dude.
you.
Yeah.
And Dave, I remember he had we met him I met him on South Street.
Uh-huh.
Well, me and Alex went everywhere back then, so we were the ones that did it. We were the active people for the scene like that. So
Right. Was Dave Pagion a little older than you guys? Same age? I always wondered.
I want to. Dave was a little younger than me because
Okay.
I was already working a job,
Gotcha.
and I think he was still going to school. I was working. I was one of the older ones out of like us.
Gotcha.
You know, besides,
Who
like-
else from your...
besides, like,
I asked this earlier, too, to John Lichko, because he was on here earlier.
Yeah.
Who else from your Philly crew or your friends would go to see, like, Gorephobia or come to G. Willikers? Any names you want to drop on here?
Now, I had a whole different plethora of friends too than John and them guys did.
Right. I'm sure you did.
There was Paul Purcell, John Miller, Frank Long, Teresa, Hamer, Brenda Petrowski. There was Janine Gorham.
That's cool, man. And they would make the
Mark,
trek
Ray
over the
Ott,
bridge to
Yeah,
Jersey
Harry
to go
Wurzel
to see
and the
your
work-
shows.
Harry Wurzel and the Wurzel sisters. These were people that lived in my neighborhood and I kind of went to school with because I went to 2 separate schools. I
Right.
was subject to Catholic high school for 2 years and then went to public high school for the other 2. And the last 2 years were the ones where I got to be tape trading in Frankfurt High. And that's when I had Lori Esposito used to come there, and then she would bring her friends. And you know,
Right.
it networked enough where everybody was in the neighborhood kind of.
Yeah, I would
Hey,
see
man,
a lot of Philly. I would see a lot of. I mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't too familiar with everyone there, except people that were in the bands, let's say, and even those I wasn't familiar with. But the thing is,
And
I would
then we got
see
to meet new.
a core of like Philly people. You know what I mean? And then
Then
there'd be
we see
certain people I
people
would
that-
see.
Yeah, and then I would notice people that were around, but not in the neighborhood. But then, oh man, I seen you around, and all of a sudden you start talking. What neighborhood you live? What street you live on? In
Yeah.
Philly, it's always like, hey, what street you live on? It's not your neighbor. It's like, what street you live on?
Yeah.
It networked enough, and Ann had the older people, and the ones with that had money or a house or cars and things like that. So we networked it.
Nice.
And it worked out well enough. You know, it was an exciting time. As you know, you were right there on the battlefield with all of us, man.
I mean, I wasn't at Rock and Roll Plus, but I was definitely there on the battlefield, you know?
That's how we got Craig from Ant.
Right. But, you
See,
know, I
Alex
would,
and
you know, sometimes, like, yeah, if there would be a show at the Cell Block or something, I might do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, like,
Rock came later, though. That
the
came
Empire,
later.
I guess.
The Empire was fading out because they had the skate club there, and it was they were getting a lot of fights in the parking up there. They're clashing with a lot of the Hispanic people were going up there, and they were kind of muscling in, and it turned into just typical city bullshit, you know, just
Right.
We own this area now. This is our spot. It just turned into nobody wanted to deal with it no more. I didn't want to deal with any of that garbage. It was there. I'm just like, I don't have time for this bullshit, man.
You were
Yeah,
more
it's like,
down with the G. Willikers scene.
Yeah, and it didn't exist there.
Right.
G. Willikers was fresh and new, and it bought the under, you know, the people that were looking for a little bit more in Jersey, and the people that wanted more in Philly, and then the New Yorkers had another place to go besides New York, and it was a good hub.
Yeah, we're going to play a clip here. I want to play a clip of something that I think is just amazing, playing wise, everything. And then maybe you could talk on it a little bit afterwards, because I think you connected the dots on this.
Okay.
So Death Metal Podcast. So I want to speak to that girl that was on the side right there that you guys were talking about in the chat. That was Lisa Marie Thompson and Barbara. Yeah, and rest in peace, great. Lisa Marie Thompson, who died about a year later in a fatal accident inside a car with the guitar player from Sorrow, and they were just talking in the car, and the exhaust fumes had knocked them both out, and then she died after that.
I remember.
So rest in peace to Lisa Marie Thompson. She was fucking amazing person.
There. Yeah, they were always there, Lisa. And
she was fucking amazing as a person and a real death metal supporter. So
Barbara.
So she wasn't twisting her hair saying "fuck this place." She was at every fucking G Willikers type show. Her and Barbara were at everything, man.
They actually did me a big favor. They took a couple flyers from me for Agoraphobia, and they took them to their work and printed them out for me.
Nice.
At their work, and mailed them home. Mailed them to my house from New York.
Yeah.
They were helpful. Everybody, it was good enough that everybody helped each other out because we just wanted that. We just wanted that level of belonging, because there was a good way of a sense of camaraderie.
Definitely, dude.
A mutual feeling, and
that's even why I wanted to do this show, man. Because I felt like G Willikers super important to me, man. You know.
It was for all of us. It was because, like you said, it made you do what you're doing now, and it helped me develop the things that I wanted to do when I was a kid. Right. And that was the platform I got to do it in. So it's like, this is this is what it's what you got to work with. Everybody starts somewhere. You'll hear all the great bands talk about when they start out. Like you always hear the Who, how they started out, and all the good bands. Led Zeppelin when they had to do those college jams.
Right.
Everybody's got a beginning story.
Or Sabbath. Yeah, Sabbath. Definitely.
It's well worth it. But that was funny, Hellwitch. It's funny because they.
Yeah, talk to me about that. Did you help book that Hellwitch?
Yes, it was. Well, I was talking to Pat Ranieri, and I used to write to him back when New Renaissance used to do those thrash metal attack compilations.
Right.
Well, the one that had Hellwitch Torture Chamber on it, it was for me, because at that time period, the Possessed is gone. Razor's like kind of on the hiatus. All the stuff that I was so rich and loving in the mid-80s, they were kind of gone. Sacrifice was changing. It just, those bands were changing, and I'm like, where's that deep dark thrill at? And so those records that New Renaissance put out was very good level of getting more into underground, because they always used to have the addresses for the band. So I wrote to every single band on the back of every one of them compilations.
So did I was writing to them too, man.
Yeah, some of them got back to me, some of them didn't. Hellwitch was one of them. So when we were doing the fanzine Regurgitation, Greg, Alex, and myself, I wrote to Pat. I ordered all the demos. I ordered a live tape. I still have all that stuff. I ordered the 7-inch. I still have the 7-inch too. Purveyor of Fear 7-inch. I still have it. So
you made phone calls back in the day. Remember when we did that shit?
Heavy duty phone calls. The bills were astronomical. My mom or dad like, you're paying for this. I used to call. I used to talk to Mark from Fatal on the phone, Lori Bravo from Nuclear Death. We used to talk. Me and Alex both used to talk to Scott Ruth, Ripping Corpse. We used to talk to Primeval. Oh shit! I mean, Deceased reached out to them. King was always there. Then all of a sudden,
King was right up front in that Fatal.
Yeah.
I mean, then that.
And he brought people from down there up. So it just networked out. It was a really good thing. But the Hellwitch thing, yes. That was John Verica's footage too from his camera.
Yeah, definitely. All the footage here mostly is all John Verica. I talked to John about. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna play some of your footage. Why don't you come on too?" I thought he was at the Claudio Simonetti show. He's like, "Oh, my daughter has a homecoming, but I'll try to come on." So he might hop in.
That was his footage.
Oh, there he is. Sorry you forgot about it. Yeah, man. John, you fucking rule, dude. This whole episode, really, and the other episode we showed before this, because this is part 2. So we've been on for about 3-4 hours now. And then almost every video that came out of G Willikers is really kind of a historical document, John. And you really captured a whole fucking time. And the best part about it is you didn't stand in the back of the fucking room and film the videos. You stood right on the goddamn stage. So
you could too.
Everything sounds so dope, dude,
Yeah, well, it's right. You're right there. You're right there up there.
Right.
And yeah, and John already knew Pat Raniere as well, so
Right.
it helped spark the interest too, because I think John was talking to Pat as well, and then because I remember when I was talking to Pat Raniere on the phone, he was skeptical about coming up,
Right.
and he had mentioned, he said, well, I have another friend up there. He didn't say it was John Verrick. He said, I have another friend up there that I talked to. He said, he's not sure about the person putting on the show. Like, he had questions, and without getting negative.
Right. Yeah.
He was skeptical because he didn't hear too many good things. It didn't make him sort of interested. So Pat asked me. I was like, no, dude, you're completely fine. I was like, you could stay with me. He's like, yeah, you can put us out. I was like, yeah, my mom and dad are cool with it. You can come stay with me for the weekend. So they were driving. They were calling me on the way up here, driving up. They finally got here. It was like, I want to say it's like 3 a.m. I was like passed down on the couch just watching movies, waiting for Elwich to show up at my front door. And then they showed up at the front door, and I was just like, oh, my God, Pat, how you doing, man? Yeah. And then, they came in. And then when they got their album out, they made a comic strip, and I was in it.
Oh, shit. Cool.
The inside sleeve of the first Hellwitch album is a comic strip. I guess he made it about the trip coming up here to play, and I was in the comic strip. I guess it's me. They drew a picture of me, how I looked. I guess how he thought I looked. Open up the door at 3 a.m. in the morning in Philly, and
right.
I don't have it, unfortunately, but everybody told me about it.
I only had it on tape, so I don't think I saw the comic, but it sounds familiar, though. It does sound familiar. Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar. So we're going to go back to another piece of video footage coming out of, this would probably be a decent one to play because we haven't played it, and it features Chris, too.
We're no short of it.
Most brutal man in the world.
There was Kenny back there, right?
Yeah, it was one of the first shows with John and Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny Masteller.
Masteller, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it was weird to see Cooch there with John.
Yeah.
So he's been passed on for a long time too, man.
He was a different person in the very beginning, but he just morphed into the real him came out later.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, like typically, and I'll just put it nicely, partying overtook a lot of people, and it really brought out a lot of demons.
It did.
That people just couldn't shake, and it just it comes apart.
Yeah, he was a pisser though, Cooch. He always had that fucking funny smile on his face, with the little space between his teeth, you know what I mean? Funny guy, Kenny was cool, yeah, dude. Kenny was mad cool, man. He was like super quiet, but like super funny,
But when you were in the room with him, because he liked wrestling like me, we used to watch WWE all the time. And we liked all the old school guys, Ric Flair and Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. Me and him used to get a kick out of all that kind of shit. We liked it, so he was funny.
1980s King V. Jackson. What were you playing back in those days, Chris?
I had that Ibanez, the black Ibanez Iceman I used when I was with Absu in '95. And it's funny because that Hellwitch footage, Tommy Christ, the bass player, he's playing my bass on that too. And he's wearing my spike gauntlets too. He's wearing them. He asked, he's like,
I always noticed that.
Yeah,
those are yours?
He's like, Chris, can I borrow them? I was like, yeah, dude, what do you want? I was giving them. I used to let anybody wear whatever I had, clothes. I mean, I didn't care. I was like, yeah, sure, wear the spikes, wear the bullet belt. That's fine, I mean, I love it. I don't think of it. I never think of it as a competing thing. It's a competition thing.
No.
I don't think
everybody at G Willikers. It was a community basically, it was amazing.
That's what I like about it, because it's like I say sometimes, it's isn't the world against us enough? The way shit is. I mean, they don't. The people in charge don't want people like us to succeed on any level. So when we have our music and our way of life, I mean, why do you want to fuck with that? I mean, why would you want to fuck with
what always bothered me about G Willikers, if you want to talk about something you get fucked with, those AC Skin guys that would come there and kind of try to fuck the shows up. Yeah, they were fucked, man. That was the only bad thing.
They were bringing other people in from another area, just another hangout, another group.
Right.
Because they were doing those hardcore shows. And I guess like a club, when Dottie was seeing the money come in,
right,
she started, it's going, which she's doing business. I mean, I don't know what Dottie's business was. She was nice to us.
Right.
Because we were helping bringing bands in, and the same group of people, yourself and everybody, like I said, Barbara and Lisa, everybody was coming up, people from DC. We had, when there was a show, it didn't matter. Everybody came up and we got together and had a good time and, enjoyed everybody's music. It just had a good fucking time without, no thought of, just for the sake of it, no other purpose, no other.
I always thought about too, and someone mentioned it here. I think it was Drew Elliott earlier. He said, or somebody said, that was G Willikers a strip club off the highway, and I think it had to be, because wasn't there some little side area there where they had like a little stage and a pole or whatever?
Yeah, they had stuff like that. Yeah, that area was shaky. They had people down there.
No, inside the club, I remember like there was a part like nowhere nobody played, and it was kind of like another bar, or they looked like a go-go place.
It had a separate area,
right?
And
then the bar, I had said earlier too, like I had never gone in the bar there. I only went in there one fucking time, dude. Like in all of my G Willikers history.
Yeah, because the open area, it was big enough to hang. It really was. If you wanted to sit, you could take a stool on the back or on the side. And then there was the pool table area off to the left, and there was the benches off to the right. And you had a big area, but those poles were in there. So if everybody's kind of like dancing around, getting crazy, whop, you could hit one of them poles.
Yeah.
And that shit would hurt.
What would you say? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, my sister came there to see me play. My father was there. My uncle. I mean, it was cool. It was big times. A lot of, I think some other bands' parents and relatives would come out to them shows too, if I remember correctly. It's hard to say because there were so many. And
I wanted to ask, like, what would you say? What would you say was your best show there? Just out of curiosity.
Well,
either watching, maybe one watching and one playing. What do you think? I know that's a tough question.
It is. Man, we played so much. The formula was always, the main ingredients of that pot was always, it was always like agoraphobia, incantation, immolation, mortician, deceased.
Right.
Basically, it was the 5 of us kind of rolling, and then there'd be others on the side, or it'd be like just two of those bands and some new ones,
Right.
and this and that. We were always kind of networking others as time went on too, which was good.
Yes.
Okay, it's hard, man. There was so much there. There was so much for a little club. I mean, it had major tours. We had Grind Crusher tours go through that little club.
Yeah, yeah.
Grind Crusher. That's my favorite one to see, was Mike Browning, Nocturnus.
Okay.
That was my favorite because I have such a close respect for Mike, knowing him over all these years. It was great to meet that guy. And well, I met him up in New York first at Lemore's when they played, and I threw
Right.
up all over the place because I was car sick. So at first I was like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" It just, double cheeseburger, all into the corner. He was like, "That was with John Varkey," and they were like, "Whoa!" And then Mike's like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like,
They're
"They're
like,
laughing."
Chris doesn't drink.
No, I don't drink. I get fucking car sick, man. It's a curse, man. But anyway, I think that would probably be memorable to see. That and a tie for, I would say, the top tier was Nuclear Death. Was
Right.
playing with Nuclear Death and watching them.
Yeah, the watching.
Playing
I
that
remember
show
that.
and having them there was because,
Very atmospheric, that show.
yes.
Because it had the fucking babies and the fucking
Yes,
hanging
Lori.
babies, and it was real dark, and it was just like,
when and Nuclear Death stayed here at this house I'm in. They stayed here too. I had, Jesus Christ, I had fucking Fatal stay here, Hellwitch, Nuclear Death, Immolation was here. Matt and Will both were here in the early days.
right.
Hanging here. I mean, fuck, man. I had actually Immortal was here one day too. It's just
Another
funny,
death metal mecca. I've had a lot of bands stay
Matt
with me,
Jacobson.
so I get it.
Matt Jacobson, just as he was getting ready to start Relapse, and we didn't meet Bill yet. Alex and I were talking to Matt, and Matt wanted to meet up, and we decided, it's like, all right, come meet up at my house. So this house, we met up with Matt for the first time, and we started, and he handed us Like an Ever Flowing Stream. He handed us, me and Alex, promo copies of Like an Ever Flowing Stream.
Nice.
And then we started talking about, record and things like that. And at the time, it was because Henny was out, and then we wanted to get somebody else in guitar. Because Alex, we all knew, it's like, yeah, we need somebody joining back and forth what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to make things a bit more bigger. But the basic formula is there, but we wanted to amplify a little more. And that's we got John, because Henny couldn't. I think if his head wasn't in Party World as much, he probably would have been a better player. But the party life took precedence over the playing.
Right.
And that's just unfortunate for a lot of guys.
And even for John, I mean, he, at the time, I remember he wanted to go into some like Paradise Lost Gothic kind of zone or something. He had a little obsession with that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Once he drove a wedge between Alex and everybody else. He drove a wedge in there. He thought I was going to just go on board and be that. He was banking, but that's when he got Spencer and Kenny. Well, Kenny just wanted to play. Kenny was into Butthole Surfers and all this. He was into grunge stuff too. Kenny was kind of like around the gambit of music. So he was like, whatever. He wanted to just. I think he wanted to try to have a contract and make money playing, but he didn't care how we did it. He just wanted to do it. John just wanted that, but unfortunately he was dishonest. And he made a lot of dishonest things, and he was also, I gotta say it, he was a thief. And sometimes with people like that, you don't catch them till it's too late.
Yeah,
And I was the one trying to be serious about it. And it was a shame that the record never happened. First time, and we also remember too, we were going to do a split with Incantation. One side was going to be Agoraphobia, the other side was going to be Incantation, and that
I've seen that written places.
Yes, it didn't fucking happen. But the ideas were all talked about in there. I mean, right there with Bill and Matt, we talked about all this shit,
right?
And it didn't fucking happen. I think sometimes had maybe if Alex and I had maybe a way to go to some other place outside of Philly to get other people to play with us, it might have been better. Or if we
Maybe.
could have had people with the ability to come down here to play, it could have been better. But it didn't happen yet. It just didn't happen.
Well, it's very difficult for any band. Let's put it really out front.
Yeah, 'cause
it's
you
very
don't
difficult
know.
to
You
get
don't
4
even
or
get
5
territory.
people to all be on the same page, right?
Yeah, and it's all new territory for everybody too. We're in our we're in our early 20s. This is new label. You know, we just
Even musically, people are different territories because, like, you know,
Yeah.
like Deceased has their own lane. Ripping Corpse had their own fucking lane. As time went on, I remember seeing Human Remains play there, where they were completely
Vital
different.
Remains, all that. Phlegm
They were-
down here.
Phlegm, yeah. Like, everybody was in their own fucking lane, dude, and doing, like,
think
different
Warguts-
styles.
And Cannibal Corpse was coming up here and playing before they got popular. So was Malevolent Creation.
Yeah.
Biohazard was playing down here before they got popular. It's funny
Yes, they
to think
were.
about that, but they were.
Yeah.
And I didn't really hang out with them. They weren't kind of my. They were just. I was like, I'm not too into that, kind of thing, whatever. And just.
Right.
I was hanging out in my. I was hanging out in my neighborhood.
Would you go, like, in the bar and
But,
hang out and not drink?
There was, with my friend Amy. There was a friend of mine, Amy Pryor. I used to hang out with her sometimes. She would go in there to drink. She was like a year older than me, and you know, she worked. I think she used to work there, lived in the area, and was friends with some of the other bands there, and just we became friends. And she used to go in there and hang out, and some of the other, and I would just go in there to get a drink. I didn't, as you know, Roy, I don't drink. Look what I'm doing still to this day, Pepsi's. You know what
Just
I'm saying?
curious if you hung out in there, because I
I
remember
would go in there and get, I would go in there and get a
politic with
Coke or a
people.
water.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I
really
don't.
much.
I
I
never.
used to hang out
It
with
wasn't my
everybody
scene
else because you
to
could.
drink at the shows ever. Like any show, really. I never. I wasn't. I would always go to shows, but not really drink. You know what I mean? I was always like the guy who went to the shows.
You were very in tune to what was going on.
Right.
You were paying attention. That's
And
the thing. You were paying attention to the bands and what was going on, and just the environment. You were paying attention to it.
Right. I was.
And then, like you were saying, it's got you where you're at today because you were paying attention.
Well, I
to it.
mean,
So you were always there and you were paying attention.
It felt.
You were
It felt like
networking
home
all the time.
Yeah, it felt like home, and then at the same time, like, you know, you were talking to people, making some connections. You felt like you were with like-minded people, kind of like the fans of Death Metal Podcast.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, in a way, like, you know, I would say, like, yeah, meet Dave Pagion outside, or, you know, buy some stuff from Relapse when they were just selling their stuff out of a fucking trunk, dude. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, cool, a fucking Pungent Stench sweatshirt. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then you're right. When some of them some of the skinhead guys, the more of the
AC Skins,
the real hardcore. Yeah, they were always looking for fights a lot.
Yeah.
And I do remember one incident that they did not like John Arcucci. They did not like him. They did not like him. And one of the things, see, I knew two of those guys just from. We like your band, man. We love Gorephobia. And I'm like, thank you. Glad you like it. Great.
Right.
You know, I'm accommodating. You know, you can't control who comes to see you and watch you. You have no control. And I do my best to be optimistic and just give everybody the, say, listen, man, you're taking time to, check out what I'm doing, and I mean that's great because this is what I do. It's what I love, and if you like it, hey, man, thank you. And if that's as far as it goes, I'm happy with that. I don't want to get wrapped up in nobody's drama.
It's funny because
there's
a live show of Pain Eater, and I can't play the show because like there's a lot of like chanting and a lot of crazy shit said in the background.
That was a fun show.
And then Mark from Pain Eater says in the mic, he goes, it's getting a little political in here.
Sweet way to put it.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. Phil was badass, and they wanted to kick my ass. Okay.
Frankie said Phil? Phil. Who do you mean Phil?
I got lucky in the fact I could adapt to the riffs I heard and let me do more stuff. Drinking at shows is mandatory for me now. I'd like to smoke weed more when I was younger. Okay. Sure, whatever. Whatever's clever, brother. I mean,
Yeah,
drinking is, a thing at shows for a lot of people. They'll spend, for me, I felt like if I was at a show, I'm going to spend time looking at the stage and not spend time
Yeah, I
looking
want
at
to
the
hear what's
bar.
going on, and be
And
there
G.
with my
Willikers
friends.
had it separated in a weird way. Their bar had a wall between the show.
It did. It was a nice enough barrier where if people wanted to go have a drink between
sure.
bands or something, you kind of was able to. It was a nice offset, It worked out for a little club that it was. It really worked out well.
It worked out great, dude.
It did. There was, years.
And then all the bands that came through there. So like you have your like Suffocation, who got very big, Immolation, Deceased has so many records. Yeah, the Death and Carcass. Well, the Death didn't play, from what I understand, which I was so focused on Carcass that at the time I kind of probably didn't even notice Death didn't even play. Dude,
and honestly, I didn't care if I saw Death because I saw them at the Empire Rock Club with Dark Angel, and that mattered more because it was Leprosy. I wasn't into spiritual healing. I liked that record for about 3 months.
Yeah,
and by the time I got past side 1, I was like, all right, I'm done with. I don't need side 2. I would put on, I'd be playing Necrovore demos or just stuff like that because it was too like, okay, this is
anything that you were involved with Ann or anybody where you try to book a band but just couldn't get them.
Think here. Do I have a couple seconds to think?
Yeah, sure, brother.
We were always trying to network.
Roy, do you prefer more beer or weed? I haven't drank in 12 years, I think. So I would say weed 100%.
Hard to get. Who did we?
I'm smoking weed for 39 years.
Well, let me think. Underground band.
Yeah, that you might have tried to get to play, but it just didn't happen. Almost everybody you got, man. Like there was a lot of shit
between Alex and I. When we started that, then everybody else, like King, was helping down in the DC area get people up here too.
Right.
And then John, with Incantation and Immolation and Mortician, some of them, not some. King brought more people.
Yeah, King brought like Abominog up. I remember
he
Corpus Ratus.
Then guys bought down. That right. I do remember. I do remember. A band that's who. I remember I was trying to take a long shot to get Executioner from Boston to come down and play a show.
Okay, there you go.
Do you remember that band? That was on they were on the Renaissance as well. 3-piece.
Seth
what's the
Putnam
name?
Was in that band at some point. He told me.
Manuel Punt. He was the bass player.
Yeah,
during that time, I wanted them to try to do it, and I remember I used to write to Mark, the guitar player vocalist, and they weren't around.
Well, they
no
were
more.
on one of those.
I wanted to get a
LPs,
War
right?
up there, but they were MIA at that time. I wanted to get a War there, and that didn't happen.
Right.
That's really. I was trying to be realistic. I'm like, who's on the East Coast area that can kind of make it here? Excuse me, and on a small budget, because I knew Ann and Dottie weren't going to shell out money for people to come from Texas or out in California. Really, I mean, Nuclear Death coming out here was the furthest one I think we got out here. Number one, because I put them up. My folks were like, yeah, they can stay. And they stayed here for
also Disharmonic Orchestra, but I think they were in the country or doing a tour or something. Disharmonic Orchestra.
I think with Punch and Stench, they were doing a little tour, weren't they, for those EPs or something they had?
That was something maybe different, but when they did a show.
With them?
Disharmonic played in Texas, I know, at the Axiom in '90, and then they came.
And I know they were up here. They definitely were up here.
Yeah, they played at G. Willikers. They were amazing. There's an interview with them.
Punch and Stench was there too.
In the bathroom. Yeah, they
were.
There's a flyer for Punch and Stench, which this is a show I don't remember going to, actually, of G. Willikers shows. But it had Brutal Truth, so I feel like I'm like, damn, I had to be there,
I know, it's funny, Dan Lilker used to hang out with us too.
I know. So we had Pungent Stench, Brutal Truth, Incantation, and Corpus Ratus on With Your Teeth Records, which was King Fowley's record label. With Your Teeth, I remember there was this incident too, which I didn't ask Alex about.
Okay.
The band, this is a benefit for Agoraphobia, proceeds for replacing the guitars that were stolen. So
John
it was-
Arcucci's guitar. Yep.
right. Incantation, Mortician, Agoraphobia, Decease, Suffocation, Nocturnal, Hazarax, Thanatos, Iconoclast, Altar, Infectious Waste, and Abolish. So what was the story behind that? They ripped off somebody's equipment. John's equipment got stolen or something.
Here's what I know. Can you hear me okay? Is my connection
Yeah, I
all
can
right,
hear
Roy?
you. You're the clearest you've been ever, dude.
There's a storm coming by. Oh, yeah. I got a new phone. Yay. This is what I know about it. Okay. I got to say it like it is.
Say it
John,
like it is, brother.
It's
It's 33 years later,
as
so.
he also was reckless. Yeah, he was reckless. So he put his guitars somewhere where they shouldn't have been.
Mm.
And he went to either do pills or coke or something like that, party drug.
Okay.
And he got wrapped up in that. He had him in somebody's car. That's right. It was one of his friends from Upper Darby, somebody that Craig knew too. It was somebody from their neck of the woods, from the Spencer John Craig area.
Okay.
It got stolen out of the guitar because that neighborhood was shady. You know that.
Yeah.
So his guitars got stolen out. Nobody knew who it was. Everybody was running around looking and looking and looking.
I remember.
And all I could think to myself is, well, what were you doing? Where'd you put your shit down at?
Yeah.
Just the first, it's because
he always would kind of be partying outside.
Yes, it took precedence sometimes, and that's what I'm saying. It started to show as time went on where the head was at.
Yeah, that was a crazy lineup,
he
right?
paid the price
Vacuous
for that.
Steps, Pungent Stench, Brutal Truth. You saw that tour in Cleveland?
Yeah.
All right, Frank Gamble. Good night. Fucking Corpus Ratus. Hell yeah. Is that Mazadaris Lee one-man thrash band? This is the one-man thrash band. Well, not really. He's got Jim Rowe on his back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it without Dr. Jimmy.
Exactly. So we're gonna play another video clip while I take a leak. Let's see what we got here. How about some old Putrefact? All right, so that was Putrefact, and back then Craig Pillard, from who later did Incantation, Disma, Disciples of Mockery. He was the singer. He was the other singer of Putrefact and the guitar player. You know,
Yeah.
the main singer was the drummer though, Omar.
Oh my God, Omar! Oh my
Yeah.
God! Yeah.
Yeah. I know the names. And then Victor was the bass player. He was in Informed Ceremonium with Oscar. So yeah.
You know, I miss Decay, man. It's a shame nothing ever really transpired from that. It was when Frankie was playing with them guys. I thought they had a lot of promise.
Yeah.
They were here and gone so fast. Frankie and Ephraim from Decay.
They really were, dude.
Good. But it just never happened. It was so sad.
And their demo was super immolation-y, right? And then
I thought it was more rigor mortis, sort of that South American death touch to it. In a way, you know?
Little of everything there going
more
on,
like
you
the
know?
rigor mortis, the pre-immolation.
Right.
I think, if that's what I was going to. I want to show you something, and I got to say, as
All
far
right.
as an exciting band to see you Willikers, dude,
Fatal demos.
both of them, yep,
For sure,
real
dude.
deal. Yeah,
Yeah. Good
right
shit.
from Mark. And there's I still have my Hellwitch demo. That's the one I got from Pat.
Oh,
That's
shit.
the one I got from Pat way back. Yeah, that's the one. See, it's got the 87 on it.
Hell
But
yeah,
this was from
dude.
Pat. And this was a band I tried to get out here. Burnt Offering from Chicago. I
Oh,
wanted them to come out here.
shit.
I used to
Oh,
write to-
shit.
I used to write to them, to Jim,
You see that, DJ Hellhammer?
and this was the original tape. And
Burnt Offerings.
Inside of it. Yeah, I got this one. I used to write to Jim, and I had this shirt. Typical me, though. One of my girlfriends took it. There's the original. It's the original tape that Jim gave me.
That's a killer demo, man.
Yeah, and it had the Leatherface song on it. Where's it at? I like that. The Leatherface song. Leatherface. Nothing to say, but red layout. It was cool, you know. I wanted them out here, but Chicago, it was too far. And then I
Right.
wanted them out here. I wanted
yeah.
the original the brothers though, not that whole new shit that they turned into. That was
Right.
heartbreaking. But I just want you to show you those. I mean, Fatal, that was brilliant to see them on a stage.
You know that Incubus
guys
demo you just showed, or Burn Offering? I could picture them being
Right.
that at G Willikers very easily, you know?
That would have been a cool show. Like Fatal, Incubus, and Burn Offering would have been nice.
They would have fit in well. They definitely would have fit in well with the rest of you guys, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we used to, we all sat around and thought, like, who can we get that would be good together?
Yeah.
And at that time, like you said, everybody was still in demo stage or 7-inch stage, and it was easier, everybody would trek along and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was good. And yeah, King used to help bring a lot of the bands from the South down here too. He'd bring them up with him. Him and
sure.
Chucky.
Yeah, Chuck.
Remember Big Chucky?
Yeah, and they did that stair sliding thing. I was right there when that happened.
Yeah.
That little commercial where they slid down the stairs.
For the Voivod 7-inch.
For sure.
It was a Voivod 7-inch or something they were doing.
That was for the Decaying Visions comp. I don't have it on hand, but I do have. We should play a little bit more of this. I could move a little into it, and this is the Youngin. The Youngin.
Cold, it's great, it's atmospheric, and a safari club is just like the club to play because they let you stage dive, mosh, whatever you want to do. It's real fucking cool.
And where's that at, Virginia? Where are you from exactly?
Where are we from?
Yeah, where's it at? Like,
Oh, the safari club?
no,
Arlington. Where is it? It's right by DC. It's like right outside DC. It's the first little town outside DC, over the bridge.
I was just wondering.
What was the scene like from where, Virginia? Was it like
Well, it's good, like the people, the crowds are real good, Some of the people are, usual Metallica, Trent Testament type people. There's a lot of metal come lately, so you're kind of sad to see, that kind of shit, but I guess it happens everywhere.
Who would you like to tour with? You can tour with anyone.
On the underground bands, all tops.
Anybody.
Voivod or all tops here, Black Sabbath, Mean Street. Mean Street. Ripping Corpse. God, less than I have a bass. Mike Anderson over here. Official fucking tour bus driver. He's a fucking maniac.
Let's start a company, man.
Corpse, man. Corpse. Revenant. Rev fucking Veg Rules. Tim's a fucking booger eating bastard. I can't wait for him to see this video, man.
Any last comments?
Thanks, man. Thanks to you guys for fucking the video magazine, man. I'm glad to see somebody supporting Underground 1990. Hopefully, wish us luck on an album this year and I get a band so we can play more shows.
Oh, aren't you just putting out like your demo pressed on CD or something?
We were gonna do that, CMFT Records, but Mark and Doug, the other guys in the band, said they were kind of worried about it. We will be on Zanzibar Records, which is an affiliate of Combat and Relativity. We'll be on it, that Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death compilation. It'll be out. It'll be us, Ex Mortis, Apparition from New York, Primeval, Immolation, who else? Ripping Corpse, I think, Revenant. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I got Dr. Shrinker.
Is there any label interest shown in demand support?
Gore Records, which is part of Nuclear Blast. They said they want to do a 12-inch, but we kind of just want to do a straight-up album. We might just put out our own album on our own label. We'll see what happens. Hopefully. It'll be fucking sick, though. It won't be fucking no bullshit. It won't change our style when it's time to do vinyl. Right, Les?
You know Mike Shields in Jackson?
Yeah, Mike Shields is God, man. That dude is the sickest dude ever. You know that guy? Mike, man, what's up? He's got you fucking, you're the sickest dude on earth, man. That dude's a fucking big bad man with jam with bastard. Fucking Mike.
Yeah, I got one more question. What do you think about people that hate death metal? Like our buddy Skip that does the zine with us. Guy hates it. Not him.
No, I can't really say what you know. If it's not for everyone, I'd rather see him not like it and be honest than fucking say, yeah, fucking that's autopsy, you know, run around with this fucking docking patch on his shoulder. Nah, it's cool. Everybody for themselves. Just stay in your own fucking.
Do you just like any hardcore bands?
Hardcore?
Yeah.
Fucking Sheer Terror, Sticky, Gnostic Front. Who else they call? We got some hardcore here. Old Bad Brains. Fucking Prong. Alright. Not a big Prong head. Cryptic Slaughter. Anybody else? Fucking. Which one? Litecoins is the first album. One more. We got one more band. We got to think hardcore. I know I'm forgetting some hardcore. MDC. There you go. Amazing Day Cops. Hardcore.
King showing his love for hardcore.
Well, we all have it in us because we're in that age group too, you know. So we have it. It's kind of indoctrinated in our background.
I like it. I mean, I was in the New York hardcore scene watching from the sidelines, though, because I didn't want to get fucked up, basically, you know?
Speaking of that, I just got in trouble a couple days ago. I was playing, I play music on my school bus, you know, I plug it in and let the radio go and let it do its thing. Well, you know that Sid Vicious version of him doing My Way, Frank Sinatra?
Right.
And how cursy it is and everything? Well, it came on, and these kids were like the girls were holding ears like, oh my God. And I didn't realize what was going on because I can't hear it clearly when I'm up front driving. And then one of the NTAs came out the next day. Was like, "What were you playing on your bus yesterday, Mr. Gamble?" And I was like, "I just rock music, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, rock music." And they're like, "Oh, well, you know, some of the parents said their kids said they came home and they heard really offensive stuff." And I was like,
"Oh shit!"
I was like, "I guess that was probably that." So.
Sheer Terror is the Celtic Frost of hardcore. No doubt, dude. Yeah, King does look a little like Ricky Casso. Just a little, you know? So yeah, this G. Willikers episode has been pretty decent as far as like, you know, just letting people know that like this was a spot that was like our community of fucking underground death metal shit, you know?
Yeah, it's a pretty... I mean, being here, I could say it made everything the way it is, pretty much on from DC up to Boston.
Right.
It was a pretty pivotal area for the time period, early '90s, at least for 5 years, I'd say, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
And it did. It has a history, and it
was important. It was like, you know, like there, like. You know, you have like CBGBs, you have these clubs, and you think, okay, CBGBs, like that's super famous.
Perfect example.
But like we had fucking G. Willikers, dude.
That was our generation.
Yeah.
It was. You're right. That's a good way to put it, Roy.
Yeah.
It
so I
cool
mean,
too. When I did the tour with Absu, and I got to meet Nika from Impaled Nazarene for the first time, he even knew what G. Willikers was.
Right.
And all that too, and I was like, because I used to write to him back then. He had a radio show he did too, in Finland, and I got a cassette recording of him interviewing Lori Bravo on his radio show. I have the cassette of it, And I used to write them, and I have old Impaled Nazarene photos of the old band lineup before everybody's gotten out. The only person that was consistent in that old photo, I think, was maybe his brother.
Right.
And Yarno. There was two other guys there.
Oh, I remember they sent me photos too, and they crossed some guy out, and they were like, "He's a poser."
Yes, yes. He must have been the same time period, Roy. We had to have gotten the same things.
Yeah.
But it was kind of it was nice to know that it reached somebody like that.
Here's a band that never made it, unfortunately. Dr. Shrinker. They would have fit in very nicely with us.
Yeah.
Someone said you're a badass bus driver right here.
Well, I could say this. One of the schools I did, I had the kids singing Cherry Bomb. If Cherry Bomb came on, the kids on the bus would sing Cherry Bomb.
Also, was G. Willikers a bar or a restaurant, or was it all metal? It was a bar, basically. And then they had like a hall behind it, kind of, which was, I think a strip
like hot
club.
dogs sometimes and fries and shit like that.
Yeah, I think the hall or rooms behind the main front bar was like basically like a strip club of some sort.
Yeah, we could never go back there though. That was kind of like off.
Oh, there was that additional part too. Yeah, where like the bands might go back occasionally. Because I remember talking to Godflesh back there when I was like a young buck,
There was a spot on the pool, the pool table side. There was rooms back there. I remember that. And then there was space in the back, and I don't think I've ever. That was where the bathrooms were. The bathrooms were in the back on the main area, bar area. It was the men's and women's room, and then the bar door was here. You go into the bar door, and there was a whole other area. And I think there was a kitchen behind the bar area, because the bathrooms were in the back, and I think that, I think it was.
We would all go through like a side door, though. It was kind of like there was like the side, and then the
main
bar
stairs
was in the
going
front.
up.
Yep.
They went right into the club, and as soon as you walked in, you look to the right. The stage is right there.
Yeah.
You look to the left. There's 2 steps, and there's all the pool tables, and everybody used to set their merch up on the pool tables. It was easy. It was a nice setup.
Did G. Allen ever play G. Willikers? I don't think so, dude.
I don't know. I don't think Dottie would have let him in there.
Yeah.
I don't think Dottie would have let him in there.
What was Dottie all about? I mean, I don't remember her too well. I might have seen her like once.
Dottie was the owner. Little lady with glasses. You know who she reminded me of? From the Golden Girls. Estelle Getty.
Okay.
B. Arthur's mother in the show. That's who Dottie reminded me of. Her.
She didn't mind us rough house motherfuckers all coming through there.
As far as I remember, Roy, she kind of left most of everything into Ann's hands.
Right.
She trusted Ann. As far as I know, she trusted Ann's judgment. That's as far as I know.
Yeah.
How it worked. And as long as it was cool, because Ann knew the guys that
we brought alcohol sales to that place, right? I mean, in real realities. Not from me and you, but like from everyone else that would go there.
Oh, that bar there was always people in the bar side, and there was people at the bar where the main stage was in the back. There was both of those bars.
That bar. I kept forgetting about that one.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
I forgot about that.
Because you'd be able to like kind of hang back there. You can go to the back and kind of sit.
Estelle Getty, ma.
That's how she looked. That's what Dottie reminded me of. She had the big glasses and shit, the little curly like hair and everything. She was a short little lady.
I mean, is there any modern day G. Willikers out there? I'm gonna ask this to the chat actually. Do you guys go to any specific club a lot in your city that you think is like kind of like the equivalent of like your death metal spot? I know Evan Williams probably could answer to this because he lives in NOLA and there's a spot there. And there's some people in Texas maybe in the chat that could answer that, or Florida. Can you guys answer to that? Is there any kind of club that you find is like kind of being that institution of metal basically right now? Where, like, hey man, this place is constantly doing shows, or they're having underground stuff, or I'm going there and seeing kind of like revolutionary music, let's say. I don't want to say death metal, but I mean, obviously this is Death Metal Podcast. 20 years ago, Chain Reaction in Anaheim was a club for metalcore. Never had any death metal. No Class in Cleveland. I do hear that name. Anybody else?
well, close to.
In Tampa, the Brass Mug is
Yes,
where
that's
it
a good
happens,
spot, yep.
and always has.
Mike
Okay,
Browning's always been there.
here's the one I was thinking of: Siberia in New Orleans.
Oh wow, okay.
Yep, this is where it's popping off right now. Auto
Right.
Bar in Baltimore has been an institution for decades. Reggie's in Chicago, no doubt.
Reggie's, yeah,
Yep.
we played there too. Bloodstorm, we had a Bloodstorm show there, and Adsu. I was there for Reggie's.
St. Vitus in Brooklyn for me. I go there all the time, for sure. Been there and Reggie's. I've been to Auto Bar. I haven't been to Brass Mug. I haven't been to No Class.
I
Auto
think
Bar's dope.
White Swan in Houston's probably.
Oh yeah, the White Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the Black Magic Social Club too nowadays. I noticed they've been having more like death metal-y shows, and isn't that where Bulldoze and Deceased just played Bulldozer?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know that club is pretty the name
Blackwater in Portland, Oregon, run by Keith of Hellshock. All right, cool, man. Thank you. 924 Gilman, definitely. Yeah, I could definitely say Gilman. Nothing long term. Places come and go in Portland, but there's been a bunch. John Waters hangs out at the Auto Bar. Interesting.
Okay, so there's still some spots.
Yeah,
just
there's some
outside.
spots, man. I like hearing this because that way, if I'm in those cities, I want to know where to go. You know, I go to St. Vitus. Black Marshall Social Club is cool for sure. I didn't know you drove all the way down there, Evan, you maniac. Black Circle in Indiana, cool. Didn't know about that one either.
Yeah.
Sick.
Well, our country's big enough. We got to have some shit somewhere.
Yeah, and like each state has got to have its own little kind of lane where maybe you are seeing these things that are happening. They could be either grindcore, death metal, I don't know, just like, you know, some kind of scene.
Community.
Yeah. The
Of some
Goat
sort.
Inn is another in New Orleans. Awesome, dude. I love this information spreading on here. That's important for Death Metal Podcast. Like, you know, and even some of the stories I told in part 1 and now, and some of the things that you're talking about, Chris, these are important history fucking lessons for people, right? Because if we don't talk about this out loud, no one's ever going to know about it except us, right?
Especially, I mean, me being a fan of the music, I say this all the time. When I stop being a fan of the music, I got to stop playing. Because it means my heart's not in it anymore. That's been my thinking all the time. So why would I not want to share this with everybody else? Because it's a piece of my soul. If I'm not there, it's kind of like my spirit can still ride on the frequency of the wave, you know?
Right.
Musical airwaves, Rush, right? Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I think that, you know, with Death Metal Podcast and some of the people that I talk to that watch this, they're telling me that this is like the new form of like a fanzine, basically, you know, and that we're telling some historical shit that nobody knows. And I mean, I guess if there's anybody that could tell some of that, and it would be from the East Coast, it probably would be me, because I wasn't in a fucking band, right? But there's guys in bands that could say it too, but I got to stand back and watch the band set up their equipment. I didn't have to worry about bringing shit to the car, you know. I didn't have to. I didn't have to talk to the promoter. I didn't have to get paid. I didn't have to worry about getting there early. I didn't have to fucking sell merch. Yeah, maybe. My main goal usually going to a show was a couple small things. I would bring a little recorder and I would try to record the show. You know what I mean? I was big on that.
Yeah.
And, you know, just going and headbanging was that was my job.
Well, when you put the Agoraphobia record out, you had recordings right there. You had them.
I had
case
some.
in point. I mean, that's case in point right there. That just goes to show. But without good people, without people like you still active, like, you know, as I think of in the way, I mean, then it can't move forward. And once got people in bands, you know, we can't get high on our own stink.
I hear you.
You can't lose that, man. You can't lose that. You can't, because I don't think this is I don't think this is the music to do that in. You know, and I'm a big Motorhead advocate all the time, and you know, I used to call it inverted snobbery. It's like you only want to be like the guy that turns everybody else on, but once more than 5 people know it, you don't like them no more. all of a sudden you can't like them. It's inverted snobbery.
I love
I mean,
St.
I wouldn't
Vitus
wanna-
too, just to throw that out there. I've never been to G Willikers. Love the old school vids. Bring me back to my childhood. Yes. And Reggie's and St. Vitus for sure.
It's all part of it.
Sanctuary in Hamtramck? Is that in Michigan?
Wow. Yeah, it's all part of it, and it is an important thing. And it's nice to know that
Very cool.
we got to be a piece of history, and if it inspires anybody, then my soul's fulfilled.
Right.
Because I'm grateful to be a piece
Same
of it.
here,
It
man.
doesn't matter personal preferences or things like that. We made magic happen in the time period that we had.
Even though I hate
And
myself after
it
this show
resonates. That's the
ends.
important thing.
Yeah, even though I hate myself when I turn Death Metal Podcasts off and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I have some kind of love-hate relationship with this show for some weird reason. Like, it's fun and, it's exciting and we go on here and I just fake this and just say whatever the fuck I want and don't, there's no script, obviously. So, like, I don't have any format or whatever. But then when I'm done with this, I'm like, oh, God. I mean, I've been told by other musicians that they have these phases or issues or whatever. Like, I used to get nervous going on here. Now I'm not so nervous going on. But then when I'm done with it, I'm just like, God, my face on video. Ugh.
Oh, I already know I'm fucking falling apart, so I don't give a shit.
Oh, I don't care
You
about
know,
how I
you
look.
don't-
I think just like what's coming out of my
anything.
mouth, whatever, dude,
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
what I mean.
damn.
Everything about me, from looks, personality. This is what you get. If you don't like it, I've been criticized a lot. I was called a gay junkie at one time. I was called a Nazi. I had all that garbage, man. Baby killer.
I
and all
don't
that
feel
dumb
like
shit.
there is anybody
Dumb
criticizing me. So like, I'm like, damn, I haven't made it yet. Because you
I
got
kinda-
haters,
Yeah, it's. I always took it as, well, it's going to fucking happen. And if I don't do anything, I still going to get talked about. So why should it stop me? It's going to, if anything, it's as much as I think Gene Simmons is a dick, the guy's right on a lot of business angle of things. He said, if people are talking about you, it's because, and they're talking about you bad, it's because you're doing something right and they don't like it.
Righto. Smaller
Basically,
scenes are better. Undergang toured here in 2011, but I missed the All Ages show. Had something special going on. I really wanted to start a live death metal band. I play drums and guitar. Very cool. Where you at, John
Gotta
Lichko?
start
I don't see your
somewhere.
face.
Oh, hold on.
Just log back out and log in. Oh, there he is.
What's up, John?
What up, John?
How you doing,
Yeah.
John?
Yo, Chris, what's up, man? I didn't
Frank
recognize you
Gamble
first.
went to
How you
sleep,
doing?
though, he said earlier.
Did he?
Yeah, Frankie passed out, John.
Yeah, we were trying to get him to come
You know
on.
how Frankie rolls. He's behind on all technology.
Early to
No,
bed,
he-
early to rise.
He was on, dude.
He's like Ben Franklin.
Listen, I liked when he was on. I don't know if it was my show or someone else's show, but he was answering
It was
questions and
Francesco.
shit. That was awesome,
It was
dude.
Francesco. Yeah. We
He's,
were together.
Yeah, Francisco's cool.
That was
Yeah,
fucking
we were
awesome,
both-
dude.
And then he
I
came
mean,
in.
we want to hear
Frankie's like,
Frankie's perspective too, because like no one really gets to talk to Frankie about his shit. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Same thing with
I don't
you,
know.
John. Like you need to be on here to talk and let people
I'm a
know
little-
about Necrosion or let people know about Symphony of Grief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, we'll have some things going soon, hopefully.
yeah.
And
I already
We'll be
announced on here
talking
that
about
there's
it.
some shit with Necroharmonics definitely coming through. So
yeah,
we
I heard
played
that
one
in
of
the
your tracks
grapevine.
on here.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, but tonight obviously my focus is the club in Pennsauken, and what brought us together, man. I mean, this is where I met you guys. You know that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, dude. And it's where I met Alex. It's where I met a lot of motherfuckers, dude. I mean, I saw Immolation before I went to G Willikers, but there was a lot of people that were firsts for me there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was all kind of started for me there too.
Yeah.
Pretty much so.
And being in New Jersey, I mean, do you guys, you just couldn't find that in Philly, or it fizzled out too quick?
I say it's more like the Empire was probably our bigger thing, but we were small potatoes just starting.
Right.
It was like Remember Philly Cookbook, John, on Frankfurt Avenue? There would be the Philly
Yeah.
Cookbook.
Yeah,
there
you
was
guys
that.
played there.
Yeah.
And,
Pulsations.
yeah, I remember Pulsations. That's right by the L there.
They're
Yeah,
the only
I remember
two that I really kind of remember that would take like local bands that I can think of.
Right.
It was more
Other than
less
that,
of a death
we
metal
didn't
thing then, though. It was less
Yeah.
death metal then. It was more thrash,
It
like towards
was.
the end of the thrash movement, you know.
You know, like I said, Roy, a lot of the stuff in like the mid '80s, it like skipped over Philly and went right into either North Jersey or into New York.
Yeah, well, we had Studio One by us, so like you had a little bit bigger stage, a kind of good sound system, and they would have mixed bill shows, so you could have a fucking death metal band on with a hair band. So that's probably why a lot of shit got skipped, you know. But everybody always wanted to play New York. Everyone like always, any foreigner like, or even somebody from Cali, Chicago, Texas, their goal was always to play New York, you know.
Because the population's there.
And then on top of that, they would try to play that other show on the outside of New York. So going to Connecticut was a clusterfuck of nothingness. But if you went the opposite direction, you can go to New Jersey or Philly. Fortune Cookie Inn, yeah.
Yeah. Paul Lenny got us that.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
That was awesome.
At the Chinese restaurant. That was
crazy.
Yeah.
The stage was like that far off the floor.
I know.
You know what I mean?
That place was awesome.
Down Chinese food, and Paul Letty's talking about throwing cookies at Christ and stuff.
Dude, that was awesome, though. That was an awesome show.
I throw cookies at him. We were like, did he just fucking say he's throwing
there
cookies
was some
at Christ?
additional shit going on at that show that you guys didn't know about. There was like this like burly like Harley type dude, and he had like the people that like ran that place kind of like over to the side, and he kind of like, I don't know, there was some kind of like racket or something going on.
Like he was extorting them or something?
Like a drug racket or something.
That's fucked up.
Speaking of a crazy show, let's put this guy's back on.
Angels on the logger sing the song of heaven. There is now weeping in heaven. It goes out to Jim Conway and Crops is here. Jim Stack and Brian Hath. Ta-ta-ta. Final hour of Christ.
All right, so that was Profanatica.
I like me some Profanatica, man.
I just have to play the fucking vocal shit, you know what I mean? Like the in-between. Yeah, the in-between song shit
Got
is the best.
slightly kicked off after that there, Roy.
Yeah, it was too brutal for you, bro.
Too brutal.
I love the in-between song
Go
banter.
easy.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Chris, you have a much better connection than you've ever had on the show, too, so I appreciate it. Lichko, you got a good connection, too. Finally. Yes! Especially you, Chris. I gotta admit, I like how Profanatica doesn't break character in between songs. Definitely not. And also, rest in peace, Aragon on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Paul is the best at what he does. Exactly, dude. And
Yeah,
he never fucking
that,
wavered, right? The whole entire time. The demo is the same as he is live now. Everything, dude. He just got the beard. That's it, man, you know?
Absolutely.
That's about it, though. I mean, musically, they're the same band.
Yeah, I always dug that stuff.
One of our first out-of-town shows I played as a kid was at a Chinese restaurant. The owner's wife had huge, and then went into the mosh pit bouncing them around off people. Her name was Chesty. Cool.
Maybe that was related to the...
I know you're joking anyway, but listen.
Yeah, that was fun too when Profanatica was playing down there, coming down and playing.
Their
more.
first
and
show.
then he would just hang out with us regularly as well.
Right. Their first show. I used to get. Then, I would go to Lemoore and people would walk up to me and they'd be like, "Are you Paul Ledney?"
Mistake.
I'm like, "No, I'm the better looking guy."
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Paul sounds better.
Did I?
Yeah.
You ever hear of Aragon walking around with his cock ring?
Yeah. He used to like make people like.
Did I tell you? When...
Yeah, tell that story here.
Okay.
There's a story to this.
One time he was there at G. Willikers, and you were probably there too, John. You were at least in the area because you were all the time with us too. But Aragon was walking around in his trench coat, smiling. He's like, he goes, "Dude, look at this," and he pulls it out. I know John Berg was with me. It was me. Other people were around, and everybody's like, "What the hell is that?" He's like, "It's my cock ring, dude." I was like, "Well, whoa, man! I don't want that. What are you doing with that?" And he started laughing. He's like, "Dude, watch this. I'm gonna get McEntee." So he saw John McEntee, and he walked over to John. He said, "Hey, John, I gotta show you something, dude." And John's like, "Oh, cool. What is it?" And then he said, "Put out your hand a second." And he dropped it in John's hand, and John's looking at it. He's like, "Wow, okay, cool. What is it?" He's like, he grabbed him like his shirt, and he pulled him in real close. He said, "Dude, it's my cock ring." He's like, "Oh, that's cool. Here you go."
He was just wearing it too.
Hands, man. Oh, but he got him though. He got McEntee with it.
Aragon was very slick.
Oh my God! He went
cool.
to nudity. Oh, Jesus Christ, man! And Paul with the jock strap going to Dunkin' Donuts at 3 a.m. He had a big welt on his behind. He walked in to get donuts.
I remember that one.
Was this in Philly?
We were at the hotel, John.
Was this
we were
in
playing
Philly?
a show up there. It was like 3 a.m. And he walked in with the jock strap.
Oh yeah, I might have been in the car and outside, maybe.
You were in the area. You were up there. I think we were all playing. Andy was there with you too. When Andy was in the band.
Funny. Yeah.
I think it was you, Frank, and Andy at that time.
Yeah,
right. Was that the Fortune Cookie Inn show?
And Joe was Joe with you?
If it was that show, then yeah, I was definitely there. It was definitely there. Yeah, it wasn't Andy. If it was the Fortune Cookie show, it wasn't Andy. It was no, it was fucking Mike Maron. We used to call him Slash. He looked like fucking Slash.
Oh,
that's what everybody else. I thought he looked more like Pete Sandoval, but
he did. Yeah, you're right, John. He did.
Yeah, but he talked like Michael Jackson.
He got that name from Kensington, from the Kensington guys. He got that name.
Yeah, probably.
There's not enough Chinese food restaurants.
Yeah, that's the only show he ever
metal
played
shows. There should be more Chinese food restaurants that have black and death metal shows. That'd be sick.
Can I tell them something about you and Andy, John, up in Rhode Island? What you did? It's not too bad. It's funny, actually. It's not bad, John. It's actually it's funny.
That's
and then
cool,
John's
go ahead.
defense, he was drunk. John was drunk. Well, we were playing a show up there in Rhode Island, and I think it was Club Babyhead too, with Flem and everybody.
No, it was Church House Inn.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, okay. Well, John and Andy got really drunk, and they threw up outside, and they were grabbing the vomit and squeezing all the bile out of it and wrote necrosion and vomit on the ground. Took a picture of it.
Yeah.
They were playing with the vomit.
Yeah, we stole Ann Bowman. Sorry, we stole her camera to get them shots. Me and Andy forced to puke out. We forced ourselves to puke. We were drinking beer all night and eating pizza. So all it was just like pizza dough, and we had to squeeze the beer puke out of it.
Bad.
And we molded it into like the fucking. I still got the picture
logo.
somewhere.
Yep.
Pretty sick. Oh, at the church. I remember the Church House Inn.
Yeah, that was the first time we were there when you guys. We didn't play that show. We just went up there. We took you guys.
Oh, you were hanging.
Yeah, Agoraphobia played, right?
And
Vital
Andy
Remains.
was really pissed off.
Mortician.
Huh?
That show?
Yes.
I was there.
Immolation was supposed to play, but they didn't play because.
Yeah. There was
something
something with the
happened with
hotel
Will,
upstairs or something. Yeah,
Will
Will fought the hotel manager or some shit.
He stuffed the fire extinguisher in the toilet.
That's
okay.
He
had it upside down in the toilet, remember? And he couldn't pull it out. Remember that, John?
Yeah,
He broke it into the porcelain. You couldn't get it back out.
Yeah, Mortician trashed the fucking hotel.
Yo, you heard it here on Death Metal Podcast.
He kicked the shit out of that dresser, too. Remember? It was all broken in pieces because he was booting it with his boots.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't remember that part, but I remember the fire extinguisher was in the toilet.
The fire extinguisher was classic. It was upside down, shoved in that toilet, and you couldn't pull it out. He must have, I don't know what he did to jam it in there.
I've never seen that.
That's in my mind, that one.
Will's a big strong, and he got that son of a bitch in there. He couldn't get it out.
I remember that show because I bought. I think, was that the first time I saw Flem? No, Flem played at G Willikers. I saw them.
That's the first time I saw him was G Willikers. I didn't know nothing about them until they came down.
Cool dudes, and Jim Fleet, it's the fucking man, dude. You know, and then
Vital Remains when what's his name was still the vocalist.
They came down with them, I think.
Yeah, Jeff Gruslin.
Yes,
Jeff Gruslin, first singer, right?
Jim, yep.
One of the singers.
I got along with him real good.
You know what? We got a clip of them, and then we're gonna rock that. We got to talk about that coffin right there.
Seeing Jeff, oh my God!
Did you see that coffin on stage with the smoke coming out of it and everything?
Yeah, I forgot that, and I think that was Jeff's too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they showed up. They did that in Rhode Island too.
I remember right, and they
brought their coffin from Rhode Island to G. Willikers.
Yeah. And he used to bring the
smoke
torches
machine
too.
Yeah.
And the torches. Don't you guys remember the torches? He used to bring that stuff too.
Yeah, I saw Jeff actually. I saw Jeff about a year ago up in Rhode Island because I was at a show there, and he just happened to be chilling. You know, like I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, bro? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, dude. You know."
Time.
Yeah, for me it had been like 30 fucking years a minute.
Probably
maybe since like the baby head times. You know what I mean? That's probably the last time I had seen him.
Yeah, there's a famous club up there. I don't even think that's been long gone too.
Oh yeah, that was kind of an institution too back in the day. You know.
I would say. I mean, I'm not from there, but I would think so. Because even we went up there. All of us guys went up there. John's band, all of us. We all went up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty. Like you said, it's pretty good, man. We networked everything around pretty good.
I know, man.
They're the two clubs I remembered up there.
Yeah. Oh, John. By the way, I think it's great that Egg Roll's back with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great, man.
Yeah, he writes great. He writes great riffs, you know, and it's real similar to the way I write. So sometimes it's like who wrote that one? Oh, it was me. Oh, was it you? You know what I mean? It's like
these guys got to.
There's a good cohesion there, you know.
Yeah, it's like I told Frankie. I told him, because you know he's living with me right now, right? He's with me.
I heard that. I heard he was going to be moving back there.
Yeah. It was just it was ass where they were at, and I know you knew where he was at. It was ass around there, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was bad. It is real bad, but
it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but when he told me that you guys were playing, and I was like, who's Sean playing with? He said Egg Rolls. Oh shit, Joey's back. Oh wow. And I always told him, I said, I think John and Joe kept each other synchronized enough that you guys got stuff done the best when it was you two. That was my opinion. Outside looking in.
Yeah.
I mean,
some of that.
The stuff that you have
crazy
is tighter than you know. Like your songs are more cohesive than they've been in years, dude. You know.
Thanks,
you get that. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, you know, sometimes it might be this, but the things that work enough. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's just like Frankie believed the same thing. He said he thinks you and Joe had the best.
It's always when brothers drive each other nuts, you know what I mean? But you get the
yeah.
But I agree with you.
The three of you been through a lot. It was an indoctrination for the three of you guys, and Andy too for a while, I think. But you know better. It's your band, so you know better.
And it's cool that Chris, your brother, played with John together for years.
We lived in the same. John lived just on the other side of the one of the main streets in our neighborhood. He's in Frankfurt, and just across the street, you have Harbison Avenue. Then it's Bridesburg. So John was right there. We used to jam at John's.
Oh shit!
If we didn't play it like Wild Studios, we would just go to John's house. John's mom and dad be like, whatever.
Yeah, we played in the basement. Yeah, in the dungeon.
Yeah, and it worked out. Yeah. You know,
I had it spelled wrong. I spray painted on the door, but I spelled it wrong. It said Dun Dun instead of Dun Dun. I didn't put the fucking E. I didn't put the E in there. So it was the Dun Gun.
The Dun Dun.
The Dun Gun.
John, where are you at now?
I'm like on the outskirts. I don't know what it's called. Jardel, I think. It's like going towards Jenkintown, you know where Burholm Park is.
Oh, okay.
Way out Cotman Ave, like 800 Cotman Ave. So.
Oh, you're up that way. All right.
Yeah.
My sister Patty moved up around there.
Oh yeah, she doing good?
Patty? Huh?
Yeah, I remember Patty. She doing all right?
Philly party in the house.
Yeah, she's
I knew
now.
it would be. This is a G. Willikers episode.
Her husband died. That guy Danny died.
Did he really?
Yeah, he
and
died.
Peg's husband died too. Rick died, right?
Yeah, Rick. Yeah, Barbara's. Yeah, Rick died. Man, that was a shock.
Right.
Dude, Rick. Yeah, Frankie went to school with him, as you know. So
yeah, Rick was cool. I liked Rick.
Yeah, Ricky. He had leukemia.
He got sick.
It took him out. Yeah, it took him out.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Illness fucking blows on everybody, man. It takes you whether you want it to or not.
Hey, John, I got a question to ask you. When I came down there with my boys and we did some special things, drugs, and then we went to there was like a house party. And this is back when Alex drank, I believe, too.
Landy.
Probably.
Yeah, and you guys like
Landy's
played a
house, John.
show in the basement of Symphony of Grief.
Yeah, not Landy's. It was Chris Elliott's house.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Drew Elliott. Chris Elliott.
Yeah. You know, he lived
Yeah.
down the street from me, John.
Was that with the drum machine?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
there a drummer? It was with the drum machine, right?
I thought it was. I don't know if it was Symphony of Grief. I thought it was Necrosion. Maybe it was Symphony of Grief. But if it was, let's put it this way: if it was Symphony of Grief, then it was drum machine because we never played with a live drummer.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
To date, it could happen still, but
Maybe
it's
it
not
was with
happening.
Necrosion and I was seeing things, but I was seeing
Probably
things.
was.
So
It probably was Necrosion.
yeah, that whole party was seeing things after I
Chris
came there.
Elliott's house. It was
Yeah.
way
It
earlier.
was about seeing things.
That was way earlier playing at Chris Elliott's house.
Yeah, so that couldn't have been Symphony of Grief.
It was a long time ago. I mean,
had
it was
to
a
have still
fucking
been
long time
Necrosion
ago.
back then, right?
Yeah, it was probably 91, right?
Yeah, because he was doing what was that band? he
Maybe
did?
90. Might have been 1990 even.
It was very early, man. It couldn't have been. It wasn't past 92.
And you guys were in Agoraphobia
Necrosion
together
was broke
too,
up by
right?
92.
Chris,
Yeah, John played with us for 2 shows.
right?
All right, one show.
I thought it was
One
2
show.
when you were with us, John.
Nah, it was
Sick.
the one show. It just it might have been with you for 2 months. But
Right.
it was only one show, and then it was just whatever. It didn't work out.
It's cool
It's
how the
it's
circle
chaotic
of
time.
life in death metal goes, though, because it's like Chris's brother jammed with you, right? And
Yeah.
Perverse
Yeah.
Wrath.
Yeah.
And then
And
yeah,
Necrosion.
and Necrosion, and then
Yeah.
Chris and you jam together, and then like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a fucking. It's the same
And then
as
there was separate
in North
times in
Jersey. It's the
Agoraphobia.
same deal, dude.
Yeah, everybody,
Yeah.
we borrowed each other, you know, and
We
that's
did, absolutely.
what it was.
And
We all
you played in
made it work.
Decay, remember? For a little while.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
your brother
we
did
were
there
talking
too.
about that.
Chris,
We were
Frank
talking-
played for Decay. They never
Yep.
played each other. They
And I
played
was
maybe
mentioning, it's a shame nothing
Wait,
ever
wait,
really
wait.
happened.
Did Chris Gamble play for Decay? Did I missed something?
No.
Frank
your brother.
Gamble, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
meant to
It's
say
my
Frank.
brother, not me,
That's
man.
what I thought.
Yeah, your brother.
Nah. I
Alright.
didn't get, you know, I wasn't spread thin. I concentrated on one thing. I like to just do the one thing.
You know what I was going to
Yeah.
ask, Chris, that I didn't get to ask? Did Bloodstorm play at Jay Willikers? No, right?
No.
Jay Willikers was kaput by then.
Yeah,
Yes.
because what happened after I was out for good, and John Arcucci and Spencer and Kenny were trying. They got Gary Gandy. I was already like, all right, I'm away from all these people because they all fell apart and it was bad news. It was bad. Now, I got to get away from it. I gotta focus on what really makes me want to do this and be important. Start from scratch again. Just fucking start from scratch and make it a whole new thing, and that's it. And then that's when I worked with Demonic Christ for a couple months, and then I got called from Absu, and it was late winter of '94. I got the call from Absu,
Right.
and then I went with them, and that was February '95. I was down in Dallas. So yeah, Cell Block was already gone too by then.
That was killer. Chris when Chris was in Absu, it was fucking. It was a cool
I know,
show.
Chris.
Really
That
good.
song
They-
still
they-
goes down as a legend in a weird way. Like
I'm
I
grateful.
don't know why you're not in it now. I always wonder to myself, like,
But
why
The
is
Milwaukee
Chris
gig was fucking
Absu
sick.
now?
I have.
This is a message to Absu. Why is Chris not in Absu now?
I'll say this. I've always told Russ and Ray when I get to talk about it, I always told them, I said, if you guys ever need me, just all you have to do is just ask me. I would be more than happy to just play with you guys, and I don't care. I'm not looking for nothing other than just to be with you guys. Because after what I went through with Agoraphobia at the end of it with John and Spencer and Kenny and all that, how bad it went apart, they gave me a fresh new planet to be on with them, because it's very like-minded musically, what I like to do. And I was with guys that, you know, like what I do at Bloodstorm, they were already doing that.
Right.
They had that in them, and it just amplified. It made me a better player. It made me a better songwriter. It made me a better player, because learning those albums was not easy. But it was easy because I was into it. If
Right.
it makes sense, it made it naturally, like boom, boom, boom. But it was
How many
easy.
albums did Absu
That makes it
have
easier.
out? Yeah, how many
Yeah.
Absu albums were out by then?
They had Bathroom Vitriol and Son of Tiferet at the time. That was it, just the two.
Okay.
I had to learn the entire Son of Tiferet album, which was fine. And then there was two songs left. Bathroom Vitriol. Yeah.
Cool.
The Prize is Greatest in Nenegal. What was the other one? Descend into Darkness. Oh, there was another. But anyway, and then when I went back in '97, I had to learn third string Mercuthrol.
Right.
So then I had to do that, and then I had to learn Golden Torques to Oolade and Shine to Cold Cometh 7-inch, because those songs were recorded during the Sun and Tifreth, but they never made it on the album because the album was too long.
Oh
so
shit! Okay.
I had to learn that. Yeah, had to learn those too. I was in the studio. I was in the studio when they were finalizing, or they were mixing it, or they were running copies off in the studio where they were at when I was down there. I got to hear what it was like when I was like, wow, it sounded. You know how it always sounds better when you hear it on a studio speaker and you're sitting there than when you get it on a record or a tape or a CD. It's still great, but it's a pinch less in sound.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
a
mean?
studio.
It's like today. Oh, John, by the way, great work that you're doing with at Jimmy's, because I was there today up Mr. Rowe's house, because I'm already making more music with Jimmy, and he told me he's working on stuff for you guys, and it sounded really good and all. So Jimmy's got his hands in there for you guys too. And he gets a kick out.
He mixed it
Jim
for us,
like,
man. He did a great job.
I kick out that egg roll guy. He's wacky, but I like him.
Yeah. We need a little bit of that in there, you know.
Customer, man, Jim Rowe.
I would love to put Jim Rowe on the live stream, but he's kind of anti-technology-ish, you know.
You don't want. Yeah, he's kind of like he don't want to be. I don't think he wants to. I don't want to speak for the man, but he just wants to play. He's like, I just want to play and make music, man. I'm not interested in all that other bullshit. I don't want to get caught up in nothing. So he's just like, nah, I just want to play, man, and be cool. Everything's fine. I have no problem. I want to keep it that way.
Speaking of Jim Rowe, this is going to be a cheap Necroharmonic plug, but Jim Rowe remastered a vinyl for us that's coming out December 20th, which would be the Day of Death, basically.
Cool.
So Disma on vinyl, and this was remastered by Jim Rowe, and then he did the recording as well. So like, he did the mastering on it too, and it is the most fucking phenomenal sounding record that I think I've heard in fucking ages, dude. You know,
he knows his work. He really does have a very good ear for music as a whole. He has a very genuine.
Dude, he is amazing, man.
He's a metronome. The man's a metronome. Just like Russ from Proscriptor Master, those guys are like metronomes. They just have it.
It's the drumming history that they got.
You know what's cool?
And I wish I had that.
Yeah, Jim does his studio thing, and he doesn't like really kind of pump his own ass too hard. You know what I mean? He's really good at what he's doing, but like he's still a mechanic, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then he'll go in that studio, dude, and he'll record some shit, and it is like fucking high quality shit, man. And he has decent equipment to do it. Yeah, and he has decent equipment to do it. He's willing to upgrade. He's willing to learn. And he gets a fucking killer sound there, dude.
Yeah.
So, man, he's a very underrated. I think in a weird way, it'll be, you know, like he needs maybe to step away from that house even and go record Earth Endium remastered. I wouldn't say it's mastered for vinyl. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So not remastered sound wise, but definitely mastered for vinyl. Talk to Jim. I talked to Jim this morning before Chris got here today. It's a small world here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scooter Lincoln. That's sick, bro.
I see Scooter Lincoln on Francisco, and I do the playlist too.
For sure.
So I see his comments on there, and it's like, good. Somebody like-minded likes the old heavy metal stuff they accept. Like
yeah. I mean, I like some of that
he's got a cool
stuff.
show.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I mean, we're brothers in arms right now between myself, Carl, and Francisco. Like we will go live like day after day after day, just fucking murdering people. It's just like, you know what? This is what I listen to. Fuck you. But for me, you know, I'm trying to take maybe with death metal podcasts, I would say I want to do something like I like playing videos too. That's dope, you know. But like I'd like to do more like interviewee kind of talky shit because like I'm an off the cuff talker, you know what I mean? So it comes very easy for me to ask questions like, Chris, were any of your neighbors at the fucking show? You know, like I was asking earlier. You know what I mean? Because like to me that's interesting stuff. I don't know why. Like I'm interested in people and I'm interested in like when you said your parents were at the show, like that's like
my dad, not my mom. You ain't getting my mom. John knows my mom too. You ain't getting my mom in that shit.
Right.
All
that bullshit.
Your parents.
But your dad went to agoraphobic show.
My dad hung. My dad.
doubt.
Yeah, he come
That's
out.
cool.
I got one real quick. My neighbor Marge.
Oh
she
yeah.
She went to that gig that I played with Agoraphobia, the first and last gig.
Uh-huh.
And my neighbor Marge went to support me, so I appreciate that. I got
Give shout out to Marge. Yeah. Shout out to Marge.
Marge Larson.
That was my mother's name too. Of
yeah,
course.
that's right. Yep.
So
Marge.
Jim Rowe. So you were tracking with Bloodstorm today with Jim Rowe. Cool.
Yes.
That's good
Yep,
news.
we're just going to keep making songs until we run out of ideas.
Great.
Jim said,
That's
keep bringing
my
them,
philosophy.
Chris. So what I'm
philosophy.
kind of doing, you know that split I did with the Bazagorath Roy, and it kind of was like, it was really Magoo. It didn't turn out well. I'm taking those songs and I'm actually re-recording them. I used one of the songs on the last album, but the other two I didn't get used. I'm redoing those. And plus I had lyrics. I have a lot of lyrics left over from towards the tail end of the Reformation Agoraphobia that I never used. I'm using that. Plus I just got stuff sitting. And I'm reconfiguring all of it, putting them together, and just going to keep writing it until I run out of everything and see how it goes. And I told Cheryl from Barbarian Wrath, I said, I'm going to do this. And she said, that's a great idea. And, I'm paying for it myself. So what the fuck? It's not like anybody's footing the bill. I'm doing it out of my own pocket. But you work at your own pace and you do it, and it's going to be what it is.
Well, Jim's a great session fucking drummer, dude. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
The guy's a machine.
And it's tough, man. And, Frankie.
This solo shit that he does is great, too.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure you love that, John, because you're an autopsy head, so that's pretty autopsied up.
Yeah, I love that. Plus, it has that incantation-y feel just because of Jim himself.
And Disciples of Mockery feel, too, a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that had that, too, so it was...
Definitely.
All three of those can...
Yeah, and a nice little neat package with just one member.
It is. It's funny how that
great.
works.
It is funny how that works and how technology works. That could happen nowadays. Literally some drummer who plays for years will pick up a guitar, do the vocals, do the bass, record all the shit himself, and then put it out himself too. So it's cohesive, not junky shit. It's not like a I'm not putting gore grind down, but it's not like a drum machine gore grind band where not as thought out. It's really deep, it takes a long time even to write one song.
Yeah, you got it's like those old school Led Zeppelin jam sessions they used to do. You just you jam.
Yeah, he gets in and then he'll send multiple for me when he first started kind of doing it, he would be like, "Hey, I did this song," and then maybe it was 6, 7, 8 mixes later, it was the same song. He's like, check it out, dude, I got it a little better. And I'm like, damn, dude, you are fucking
even if it's
there.
This much better, it's worth it.
Yeah, he was in there, and it did sound better, too. So I was like, damn, man, he really fucking works this shit, dude.
He did 2 of the solos on the song today. I did 2, he did 2.
Nice.
Because I was like, cool. Jim, you want to put some solos? We'll do a back and forth. And he's like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, John, I actually taught myself solos.
One thing I can always say about you, Chris, you taught yourself everything that you do. I respect that.
Thanks, John.
After Agoraphobia, you picked up the guitar, and started writing your shit. And,
yeah, that's true. I mean, I looked at that too, Chris. Just to be honest, I was like, hey, he's starting to play the fucking guitar now.
So I'm all good with that.
Definitely.
I'm trying to play drums now lately, so.
Well, John, You're not a bad drummer either. That's the funny thing. See, John, Roy, sometimes we'd be at practice. John would sit and play Frankie's drums when he showed up. And then Frank would get mad, right, John, if you're sitting there playing his drums? You moving my shit, dude. You moving my shit, dude. Like his stand. Yeah.
He thought I was going to break it or something, but I wasn't that hard on him.
Hold on, we got some.
It's just so much fun to play.
Info here. I remember going to Jim's and taking my guitar with me. Jim had picked up a guitar. Jim was jamming with Paul Crooks, and then I started playing guitar, and then he came. No doubt, Paul Crook from Anthrax too. Yeah, Jim was rolling with Paul Crook a lot,
Yeah, didn't he assist on that Disciples of Mockery thing?
Yeah. They recorded it inside their house, in Plainfield or whatever. I know.
Great sound to this day.
Hard fucking record, dude.
Great sound to this day.
If I just may say, not to poke it, but it's so true. When I first heard that, I thought it was an incantation record that wasn't released.
Gotcha.
It was Craig, Jim, and
It's the whole band except for McAtee.
except for John.
Yeah.
And it sounded better without him.
Well, the sound.
That one was great.
The recording was fucking really tight. Dude,
Them three guys.
Well, Brian. Yeah, and Brian did the promo, I think.
Very
and his
morbid
stuff was
sounding record.
Yeah, them three guys made that sound.
Yeah.
Them three guys.
Ronnie Dio's bass tone, incredible, dude.
Yep.
Yeah,
Craig,
rest
Jim,
in
and Ronnie,
peace.
they did.
Rest in peace, fucking Ronnie, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, rest in peace. That's right. Yeah.
And I don't say it to be mean, but it's just the truth. That's the magic that happened for that.
Yeah.
And it happens for quite a few bands. It's just once it gets to a point and it's right, you just know it.
Sometimes when something's fueled by anger too, and I know them sessions were, you know, you could feel that shit, and that's what made it so aggressive. Man. For me,
John, should we tell Roy some Frank stories?
Hey, Rosalinda, how's it going?
Rosalinda
saying hi to Chris.
How you doing,
You can start off with that.
All right, you guys convinced me to check out Disciples Mockery.
Yes,
right.
you have to.
Let's do that.
You won't be disappointed. It's really good.
Also, check out Womb, too, which is 2 basses and the same guys.
I remember that. Yeah.
Right,
Super slow. Brutal.
It was all bass, that's right.
It's on my Bandcamp if you want to check it out, too. It's on Necroharmonics Bandcamp.
I remember Womb, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely check that out.
They were there.
What's up, Craig, if you're watching?
Yeah, no, I don't know if Craig watches this or... I've tried to ask him to be on, watch it, anything, you know, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe they watch it on the low. I think maybe Jim popped in.
He's just not going to let you know, that's all.
So. Jim don't fuck with the computer too much.
Nah, man, he's having a cool one. Sitting there with his feet off.
Barbecue.
His feet up in that front room, probably.
Right.
Sitting back, man, just zip.
Does he ever wear shoes? I don't think I ever seen him wear shoes.
He every time I go to his house, he's barefooting it, man.
Yeah,
if he has to put his boots on, he's like, wait a minute, I got to get my mail. He just puts boots on, no socks. He goes outside. Getting my mail.
Yeah, the barefooted drummer, too.
But if I may, if it's okay, John, let's tell Roy. Let's tell Roy some Frank stuff. Nothing bad. It's nothing bad, Roy. It's just
he's your brother.
We used to all get a kick out of Frankie's temper back in the day.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of those.
And John had a way to get him to go, and I had a way to get him to go. And sometimes more than half.
Yeah, we used to wind him up.
Frank was already pinging. Frank was already pinging when he would show up, and he used to get mad at you because you used to say, "Well, you play better when you're pissed off." And he said that used to piss me off more when he would say that. Like you talk about.
That's why I used to say it. That's why I say it.
And he would. He'd go just fast enough, and then throw the sticks and kick this shit. Remember, he would kick his stuff over. He'd get pissed. Is that fast enough? Is that what you want?
Dude,
you're like perfect.
Out of the sides of his temple.
You're like perfect.
Remember that one day? He got so pissed. He took the whole 2-liter of Mountain Dew and just drenched his drum kit with it, right in the middle of like playing, and that was like, I guess practice is over. And he took the drumsticks and stabbed every one of his heads. Remember that day?
I remember that one.
The bass drums too.
I did that more than once.
Brutal.
Oh my God! I never seen somebody destroy his kits. He was like Keith Moon.
Damn, man, that's some next level shit, dude.
One time he threw his kid over. I think it was Namtaro.
He did.
He threw his kid over, and he said, "Don't you fucking touch him." He's freaking out.
Yeah.
Don't you? Because me and Jim would pick his kit back up.
Right.
But the one time he's like, "Don't even fucking touch." We still picked up anyway because he left the room. He stormed out. And, later on, came back. That's probably knocked him over again.
Yeah, he just come back and yell and go back, go leave if he saw it set up. And the one time remember that furniture place above Ben's furniture store.
That's the one I was talking about. That one time, yeah.
Remember that? Were you there? Were you in the room the day he tried to kick his drum kit over and he pushed himself off the riser, and he went. His kit didn't move, but he went off backwards.
No, I don't remember that.
And he tried to stop his fall, and it took about 2 minutes for him to fall off backwards.
I could picture it. I can't really.
God. He was
I can't access the memory bank.
And I couldn't hold it back.
Chris, being that he was your brother and he played on Bloodstorm, I mean, would you try to wind him up to play for Bloodstorm too?
Nope.
No.
No, I didn't
I
do
think
that.
he had.
I didn't
I think
do
he had an
John's
easier time with Chris. He had an
Yeah,
easier
John
time
and
with
John
Chris.
and Joe would, come on, Frank, it's just fucking, John and Joe had their way, and I was like, Frank, just take it, just relax, man, just just take it easy. Let's just do. I tried to be diplomatic with them to calm them down, and
I got that way later on.
but he would respond to John and Joe with the same way that they did it. He would still respond to them. Now, if I tried the method John and Joe did, it wouldn't work for me. And I think if Joe and John did it my way, it wouldn't work for them.
I gotta eventually find the video footage of that drum thing going on.
because you had a relationship with him as a brother or brother level, so it was a little different dynamic.
How about these calls, John? You guys are called. You're going to he'd be pissed. I would see him here. He's pissed in his room, and he won't answer the door. I'd knock on the door. Hey, Frank, man, we're going to jam today? He would knock on the door. You go, what? You'd call him. He would go, what? No, bam. And you wouldn't hear from him.
He was always pissed off.
He seemed pissed off even when we had him on the live, but in a good
dude,
way.
His blast beats were so fast. 1 foot blast, fucking just sick fast.
Yeah, he did.
And
he was going.
And when he was mad, he was even faster and just precise too. But
and you had to catch him in that moment too. You had to try to catch him on tape when he was like that.
Yeah. Because then that was just
sometimes, wasn't it? He was like, I was pissed off, man. And I was like, yeah, well, and used to say it to him all the time. He's like, well, you play better pissed off.
Yeah, and he wouldn't give himself enough credit either. I was like, dude, you're fucking.
He didn't. He was critical of himself.
And he was always like, oh, I thought I'm blah, blah, blah. He would always be pissed at himself because of his performance. I'm like, dude, you were great. What are you talking about?
Right.
John, how about when we would record with them? Like, whenever we recorded, whether it's your stuff or my stuff, and he'd hear his drum beats back, and he would just be pissed. He would mimic his drum sound, and he'd go. And remember, he would sit here and mimic it, and he's just like. Yeah. And then you can't help but laugh at him. He's mad, but once you start laughing at him mimicking it, he lightened up.
It was self-deprecating.
Yeah, you had to laugh at him doing it. It lightened him up, even though he was mad. He kind of let it go.
It sounds like he has some of the same issues as I have sometimes.
Yeah, remember Jim Forbes would laugh. He would go, man, your brother's crazy, and he would start laughing. Man, Chris Forbes' brother, Jim. We were talking about
Jim Forbes. Yeah.
Yep. But because John recorded this at Vortex, doing the Perverse Raft, and Taru,
both of them, yeah.
And Frankie was there, and it'd be Jim Forbes recording, and if Frankie was pinging. And he would make fun of his drum sound. Jim didn't want to laugh in front of Frankie. But if we were in the room, I don't know about you, John, but when I was in the room, he'd be like, dude, your brother's crazy, man.
Yeah. Jim could, he was funny. Like, he knew when it was funny or when it wasn't funny or when somebody was acting crazy. And he was cool. Jim Forbes was fun to work with.
He was. He did a lot for us, I think, at that time period. We had a good place to work.
Chris Forbes was on earlier, actually. Chris Forbes.
Real raw recordings. Real raw fucking, just
he knew his way around everything. Yeah. He understood us.
It was a little noisy, but at times, but it was what we were looking for anyway, because it was so just aggressive, brutal.
Because he was the only heavy metal guy in the area that had a studio that understood heavy metal guys. He was the only one that I thought he had.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing there too. Yeah, because we worked with him with Symphony of Grief too, early on when he was in when him and Chris Forbes lived at their parents' house.
Yeah,
he had a studio in the basement. We did with Symphony of Grief. We did that the thing we did with Wild Rags or whatever, and. That's the first time we worked with him, and then a few years later, you went to him, and then we went back to him again.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was the Our Blessed Conqueror release on Max. Yeah.
Yes.
That's sick.
Yes.
Sick fucking release.
Do you still talk to Andy?
John? Yeah. Lately, more a lot lately. Actually, I talk to him.
Are you thinking about having him back in the fold with you? Is he playing or?
How's his parrot doing? I saw he needed a surgery.
His parrot's doing better.
That's good.
They had a wing.
Yeah. That's good. They got that handled.
Well, I got him to pick his bass up again, But there's no pressure to do this or that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if we do anything, it'll probably be. Maybe we'll revisit some Symphony of Grief. You know, pick it up and maybe put out some new stuff. Maybe I can't promise nothing, but
sure, of course.
You know,
you gotta feel it out, right?
Yeah. So
I
wouldn't make any other.
Joe? You think you would include Joe on the Symphony? You think you would include Joe on the Symphony of Grief stuff, or just you and Andy?
It'd probably just me and Andy, and maybe Jay, the old guitar player. Like Joe, I'll just Joe will be with Necrosion, but I don't think it would be. I would have to talk to Andy about it. You know, that's all way up in the air.
Right.
If it's not going to happen without either me or Andy, so that part has to come together first. Then we can worry about, if we want to have a second guitar player or not. I would like to have a live drummer, but like cool to have a real drummer, and then just make it a 3-piece, like say me and Andy with a drummer would probably be great. But we'll see.
Who do you got with you now? Who do you got playing drums for you guys now, Frank?
I got Dave Latcherverse. He used to play in a band called Ritual Sacrifice years ago, like way back 30 years.
I've heard the band name, but I don't know him.
Can we talk about something?
He's from Rhode Island.
Elephant in the room, bro. John Lichko.
What's the elephant?
You told me that Samus played drums on a session thing for you. That famous fucking Twitch dude.
Yeah.
I think the death metal chat needs to know this. That Samus, that dude that plays like all the fucking, he's like a Twitch star, YouTube star or something at this stage, right?
YouTube, yeah. I don't even know what Twitch is really. But
Twitch is like an alternate YouTube for gamers.
Yeah.
But basically,
he's like a.
On there, he's a fucking top. He's like a kind of like a person that has like a huge following, dude. You know?
Yeah.
So
he did a session for us, but it's not released yet.
Right. So Samus played with you. That's so sick, dude. Symphony of Grief
songs.
was way ahead of its fucking time, no doubt.
Thank you.
That's how we do here, bro. You know that.
That was a good transition from
DJ Hellhammer knows
that.
though. He's my correspondent, my brother. So
I said it was a good transition when you weren't with Joe at the time, and it was you and Andy doing Symphony of Grief. It was a good transition for you, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. It was different because it was more death doom kind of thing, where Necrosion was more like kind of death leaning towards black metal, more death metal. And Symphony of Grief was it was called Death Doom Grind by Chris Forbes, our manager at the time. That's what they called it, Death Doom.
Now here's
That's
something
what he was calling it.
Roy.
It's not so much grind. There was some faster.
Doom.
There were some faster parts, but I wouldn't consider it a grind. Death Doom, I would say that.
It was it was more of that.
I fucking love Cerberus and Symphony. There you go, brother.
Oh yeah, Cerberus, right. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
the dude played with Devin Townsend, an absolute elite drummer. There you go.
Yeah, he's a fucking incredible drummer, no doubt.
So I mean, you hired Samus as a session drummer for Necrosion.
For Necrosion, yeah, the songs are still yet to be released, but
nice.
They will be.
Sick.
Here's something
I wanted to mention. I saw John do a long time ago that I thought was pretty cool. It sounded cool. I don't know if he ever told this to you, Roy, or not, but there was one time John was we were playing in your house. And John had his like putty knife, his art knife, and he was scraping on his guitar. And he made this he was making he had like 2 or 3 riffs you were doing with your putty knife.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. You should incorporate that.
Yeah, I did with a project. I did put that in somewhere.
I remember it was like you slid it up and down. You went salute. It was like salute. It had a weird metal, like a metal on metal slide sound.
Yeah, like a real high pitch.
Not like a steel guitar, but you could. It was the putty knife. I remember you had a putty knife, and you were messing around. You did. I was like, you ought to use that.
Yeah, it was like a paint knife, like one of Bob Ross fucking paint knives.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was pretty neat. I don't know.
Interesting.
I still have the same knife.
Yeah. Hey man, you gotta experiment sometimes,
Yeah.
Maybe slide a bone across there, from a corpse or something. It's death metal, right?
Or from a butcher shop like Carnivore.
Oh yeah, like Carnivore. Throw meat in the crowd. I've been to a Carnivore show where they threw fucking meat at people. It was
I'd be
crazy.
like, throw me a hamburger patty, you bunch of fucking, you bunch
Raw.
of sissies. Throw me a goddamn hamburger. I'll cook that shit if you need it.
Yeah, people are like grabbing up on the meat and everything. I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, really.
Let me get the fuck out of the way, dude. That looks like a huge piece.
I'll take some sushi. Who's got sushi?
So let me. I'm gonna play one or two more tracks before we kill this. This was something I didn't get to play too, or there's 2 or 3 things that I should play here. These are a little off base from like what we've been talking about, but at least we got to delve down with Fatal, Ex Mortis, Scorephobia, Hellwitch, Immolation, Incantation, Mortician, Pain Eater even, and Primeval, Putrefact, fucking Profanatica. But this band played in G Willikers too, which I didn't even know, or I did know, or who knows.
$200 for this.
Anybody asleep yet? No, it was cool though. I mean, at least
Necrosion played that gig.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Necrosion played that Old Lady Drivers.
Yeah, it was the best sound we ever got at G Willikers.
Interesting. Yeah. There was a lot of room on stage.
Because the main guy was out. The main sound guy wasn't there. They had a replacement, so it was the best sound.
Oh, okay.
thought they were like
Interesting.
tuning up at that show.
No,
until I
no,
realized it was
that's
like an
what
actual
their
song.
noise was.
Yeah, it
yeah.
didn't even seem like an actual. No, it didn't for some reason.
I was like,
I don't know.
okay.
They got a little noisier as they went on. I mean, Jim Plotkin was doing that regurgitation stuff, obviously, years ago. So, I mean, he was a little ahead of his time as far as like a grindcore, band. So,
Yeah.
I mean, regurgitation, Bathrooms Rule demo and shit. It was good shit.
Yeah.
John,
They
what?
were on. They were on Earache, right?
Yeah, they did that full length on Earache.
Were they on that Grind Crusher compilation or whatever?
Yeah, and then they did a demo after that was very industrial sounding, but it was pretty like death metal in a way. And then it was like a 3-song demo. It became like a split 7-inch with Ass Suck, and it's probably like their best stuff for Old Lady Drivers.
That name's great. Ass.
I know, both Old Lady Drivers and Ass Suck split 7-inch. I mean, that's a pretty fucking deep one.
The name makes me chuckle.
OLD. Yeah.
Yeah, they were noisy at the end there, and then eventually, though, Jim Plotkin ended up doing a lot of mastering for Relapse. So, he ended up, like, say, even maybe now, like, he's a mastering engineer. So he does, a lot of Relapse type stuff. Butthole Surfers.
That's an art for that shit.
Yeah, definitely. So I had to play that just because it was at G. Willikers. It was from 92, so you played there in 92, brother?
It was probably like it was towards the end of our thing.
Right.
And then Frank split, and then we had to get Chris after that. So that might have been the last gig.
You know what?
No, it wasn't the last gig with Frank. The last gig with Frank was at a different club. That was at Whispers.
I got to ask you guys a question, too, because I didn't ask this to anybody at this stage. G. Willikers itself, it burned down, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
Well, it might have caught fire, but it didn't burn down.
Okay. So
yeah, cell block burned to the ground, I think.
That's definitely.
That's gone now. That's totally gone.
Okay. So G. Willikers might have caught on fire, but didn't burn down?
No, I don't think so, because years later I went there just for the fuck of it, for a ghost town experience.
Okay.
Chris, it was funny, and I just went. I found it somehow.
Yeah.
I remembered how to get there. Federal Street or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Federal Ave.
Yeah. And I found the fucking thing on the way to a job one time. I just stopped over. I said, I'm gonna be late. And and it was there, man. It was like abandoned, kind of like there was weeds growing through fucking shit.
Oh shit.
Just out of business, the shell of itself, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to pay some kid to fucking graffiti our name on it and then fucking take a band picture there as a joke. But I never got to do it, so.
Damn. It'd be dope if they still.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, it'd be dope if they reopened it. You know what I mean?
That
like enough people want this now.
The area is probably
not in that neighborhood.
Yeah, not anymore.
Nah, that area I think's not profitable.
It's not a venue now. It's just a.
It wasn't even that good back when we were there.
Nah, it was always shady.
Yeah, it was shady when we were going there.
Remember the hookers, John? They would across the 7-Eleven. There was they were in there hanging. Roy, we were talking about that earlier. They would be hanging over there. There'd be dudes in cars waiting for dudes to come out, and that's where I think Arcucci got his cars.
Omar got jumped over there from Putrefact.
I was just going to say the drummer from Putrefact. I couldn't remember his name. Omar. Yeah. That's right.
And we went out there and we were like gonna fucking kill people. Remember that?
Yeah.
Frank had his fucking machete out and shit. Yep. That was so fucking awesome, dude. That was like a highlight. I was like ready to kill people.
Everybody went in every direction, looking around.
Yeah, we were looking to kill people.
That
was awesome.
Some guys were cool at Putrefact. You know?
Yeah,
that's when Craig was still with them.
That's right. And then Omar was always super cool, and he had just a 1-track mind, dude. He was just like Autopsy, man. That's it, dude. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, you like Morbid Angel? Fuck no, dude. Fucking Autopsy, you know?
They did an Autopsy song with Craig singing.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't remember the song. Critical Madness.
We played it on here earlier.
Oh, fuck! I missed it then.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh well.
But I mean, there's only so many G. Willikers videos on YouTube, you know. So like, that's where I had to pull my sources from. No, I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that. There was.
I have nuclear death video footage. I have the whole show. Actually, I do.
That's pretty well. I have a Roger
I
show.
do somewhere too on a fucking old VHS. Mortician fucking.
Yeah.
I have a Rotravor show. A Rotravor VHS from G. Willikers.
Elwich played there.
Yep.
Yeah, we were watching that earlier, John. Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, I missed that too. What the fuck?
Remember, were you
brother.
with Frankie when they were staying here? When I had Helwich here?
Yeah, I remember. Pat.
Fatal was here. Yeah. Nuclear Death, though, they were here, 6 weeks living at my house. Remember that?
Yeah,
kid?
that was fun. That was a fun time.
Lori Bravo downstairs having coffee with my mom. Coffee at
Yeah, that's nuts.
And then here we're talking about, possessed babies and shit and all this other stuff. We're making them. Remember when we were trying to make the home video stuff? My house.
Yeah.
We went up to the Byberry Insane Asylum and all that footage we made, all those little short movies.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
I don't know. I
never
when
came
they
out
got
yet.
back, I don't know, something between Phil, Lori, Joel. I don't know what happened, but
yeah. Oh, shit.
I remember when Joel. Do you remember
Yeah,
when
Joel was an incredible drummer, that dude.
Yes, and he got into that accident because he went with John Arcucci and Spencer. No, not Spencer.
In
It
that
was John
van,
Arcucci
right?
and Craig. John Arcucci and Craig. And they went to go get drugged, and they let Joel drive the fucking car, and he got into an accident.
Oh, shit.
Remember that? I remember that because they were living. They were with me when it happened. They were staying here. Joel was missing, and then Arcucci and Craig came back. And we got into an accident. We let Joel drive.
Was that after the show or before the show?
It was after. It was after.
Oh, was it after?
Yeah,
So I'm going to play a request Drew Elliott asked earlier, and then he showed me the time mark on it. There's a thing with King Fowley where he's in a parking lot talking about like demos or something, but just if you guys bear with me for 1 second, I just got to kind of find it. Let's see where it is, though. He showed me the spot.
All the fucking...
Hold on.
Around. Because...
Where it is.
Hey, Shepard, my Jen's upstairs. Cause he's a fucking Jen.
Welcome to the first issue of Kenny Vision. My name is John. I'm the cameraman and interviewer.
My name's Chris. I'm the interviewer and the editor. We're here at Niagara Falls. Just got the day after the Day of Death show. It's still a show. It's long day. This issue we got Carcass, Obituary, Incubus, Remnant, Corpse of Deceased, and Nocturnal.
This is the first interview Deceased with King and Mark.
How long's Deceased been together?
84, 85. Well, 84 me and Doug started it, and in 85 we got Mark, and then we got Rob in 86, did our first demo, Evil Side of Religion. Kind of sat around 87, didn't do a lot. 88 we started jamming the Birth by Radiation, Helicopter. We started doing that, and then Rob got hit by a car, and we got less some days because some stupid asshole hit Rob and killed Rob. And then we did that demo, and we played a lot of shows, and then we got to 89, did Nuclear Exorcist. And now it's 90 and we're getting ready to do some new tape. I don't know what we're going to do. If it's
Industrial Tumor.
Industrial Tumor. We got fucking, what else we got? Fading Survival.
So what's the concept?
Experimenting with Failure.
What's the concept?
Robotic Village.
Robotic Village is a new one we're working on. And also Contaminating Creatures and A Tolerance for Horror.
Cool.
But with the concept now, okay, well, let's see. We ended last time, Haunted Cerebellum was the last tune. And that was like when they took over the brain and took over all the mind control of God, and they became their own gods, the mutants. Do you want me to tell the whole history or what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the mutants back from the Birth by Radiation, when they were born up from all this radioactivity and human bullshit we put up with, fucking nuclear war or whatever, and fucking
And that just dealt up to the next one where on Nuclexus, God had punished them enough and was going to start the land over, but they didn't want to start it over because the world was destroyed and God was too brain dead to know what he was doing. So they finished off God's mind. And now on the new tape, where we are now, it's man trying to put back Earth the way they remember it to be and the way they want it to be and live off what is left of the Earth. And then that's all I can say.
Sounds deep.
Hey, man.
Goddamn wasn't. I'm like this tall now? And, okay.
Is that a video magazine?
Yeah.
No, it's a video camera.
Yeah, but we are doing a video magazine.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm glad to hear it.
Decaying Visions.
Who else is in the issue? Or...
Incubus. I went down to Florida and I got one interview.
Got one eye. Okay.
Well,
Anything else?
wait, I got one. What's your favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie ever?
Yeah.
Horror or gore?
Gore.
Gore movie?
Bloodsucking Freaks?
Nah. Dr. Butcher MD. Dr. Butcher MD.
Bloodsucking Freaks is cool.
Okay.
Dr. Butcher MD. Best horror movie ever made is Phantasm 1.
Cool. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Without a doubt.
2 is great
and Dawn
too.
of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead
I
is
love
great.
Dawn of the
The
Dead.
Exorcist is great.
Exorcist. Omen.
Burnt Offerings.
Yeah, Burnt Offerings.
Hey, and here's King shaking the mayor's hand. Thanks for the key to the city, man.
$50 rock.
This is great.
Okay.
Cool.
Is Michigan going to be the furthest way that you play?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like 12 hours or something.
Definitely. It's like going
Day
to
after
Willikers
that,
5 times.
Bangor.
Bangor Weekend of Horrors. We're going to meet the tall man. Remember Phantasm.
Cool.
Oh, Chris, you're really not a very good interviewer.
All right, describe barbecued iguana to our...
Describe the barbecue iguana?
Yeah. It's a crack house.
Right there. BBQ iguana.
Cool.
It's a crack house for
Yeah,
fucking
that's
6-year-old
good.
nectar childs. They got fucking 4 nipples.
On stage. They're in the middle of a place where all these
Got a
fucking
good-
winos and...
It's got a good PA. We saw
drug addicts
a bum take a shit right outside that place one day. He just dropped his drawers and fucking shit all over the place.
car outside.
It was pretty cool. But then I found out it was my mom fucking following me around. So. She had a fucking camera with her anus. Kind of like that one.
Got him into the show for free.
Hey man, well, did you want to shake his hand and take his money? I didn't. He didn't have no TP.
You think the scene's better here?
The scene? What do you mean? Like for bands? There's more cool underground bands play here, but DC for the fucking pit and the mayhem and them is the fucking massive god. Get some DC mongers in this, man. We'll come all the way from DC.
Say hello.
I'm all the way from DC. That's cool.
This is what DC does to your face. Face your nerves, man.
Ooh.
How do your nose get like that?
I'll put it this way, when you see me in Michigan, I'll be bandaged up and going to surgery at 8 August.
All right. You remember that? Bandaged.
You see me the day after Michigan, I'm going to be bandaged up.
All right. Anything else? The one guy with the
Last words?
Last words.
Last words? Pooh? What do you guys think?
Why don't you give your address? Pestilence. Give your address so people
Way
can get
odd,
shirts
man.
and things.
Address, okay.
Yeah,
Demos are
prices
$5.
and all.
T-shirts are $10, and I trade you some videos. With
We'll have baseball caps by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And,
Baseball players by the end of summer too. Jim Palmer's coming up. He's flying up for the fucking
Baseball cards, man.
Yeah, baseball cards.
Yeah,
Mark,
suffocation
my man
baseball
hits a
cards.
465 average, man. Okay, no.
Without a
The
bat.
address is 5953 North 10th Street, Arlington, Virginia, 22205. Arlington, Virginia, 22205.
And prices?
USA.
Just gave the price.
Gave the price?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Good shit. John
All
Litchko.
times.
John Litchko and Chris, I appreciate you guys. Yes, King Fowley looked like 15-year-old kid in that thing, and he's funny as fuck, and he's still funny as fuck.
He looks so young.
So yeah, Drew Elliott was on earlier, and he's like, "You gotta show the interview of King Fowley in the parking lot, dude. It's much better, you know, than the one on the G. Willikers toilet." But yeah. But yeah, for sure, brothers. I just wanted to, let people know. Thank you for tuning in to 2 fucking live, whatever, G. Willikers fucking podcast thing or whatever for death metal. I wanted to try to just talk to some people that were there, and then I was there, obviously, and just show a few videos and just relive the past of a like pretty dope moment in time. You know what I mean? It was like kind of like it was important, Unfortunately, Anne couldn't join us. She hasn't been feeling too well. She got to get surgery or some shit.
Good luck, Anne.
To her, yeah, good luck. I hope you feel better.
I'm out of the loop.
And,
I don't talk to people normally, so I don't know.
basically, you know, I wanted to just go to you guys and, you know, just hear some extra stories or talk about, you know, what the fuck, you know, maybe something people don't know about, even if it is just G. Willikers in general, because they might just see that name out there or a video, but there was a lot more behind it, obviously, and just this whole story and Philly stuff, and even the way you guys connect between Necrosion, Bloodstorm, Perverse Wrath, all this stuff. You were in fucking Gorephobia. Like, it's just like, you know, it's some deep info. So, just wanted to come here and, you know, spew it out, man. Yeah, spew out that history, you know?
Yeah.
So, people are saying hails and thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thanks. Salute. Love it. Great show. Met him at the Day of Death. Okay, cool. Always, bro. So, yeah, man. Thank you for everybody who tunes in religiously to the show and shit. So we're gonna end this though, and then these guys, thank you for coming on, man, and just sharing some old fucking G. Willikers memories, you know.
John, all the best to you and Joe, man. Okay.
You too, man. Bro.
Say hi to Andy.
I will, bro. I will. Say what's up to Frank and
call Frank.
Jimmy.
Cool, man. Yeah, and if anybody is watching this or skips right to the end, there's a whole other episode too. So, and then we had other guests like Alex was on here, Chris from Metalcore Zine, Drew Elliott. I think that was it. And then John Lichko was on the other one too. So definitely tune in, guys, to the other episode if you didn't. And then fucking G. Willikers, man. Fuck yeah, brothers.
Thanks for all the history and everything, folks.
Yeah, man. I figured we could go on here and talk about it a little bit and just let people know about something that they don't know about, I guess, you know? And I knew about it, so I figured, why not come on here? Yeah, and share the underground history.
90s. It was big. It was a big piece of things.
It was, man.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go out with a song. I'm letting you guys out of here. Take it easy, my brothers. So we're going to end this. Later, my brother. And now we're going to end Death Metal Podcast with a song. This is Suffocation. Later, guys.
Thank you.
are suffocation. Alright, Sex Song is on the EP. Should be coming out in about 2 or 3 weeks by Nuclear Blast. This song is called Infected.
Christian.
You guys smoke.
To Leshnall.
Oh yeah. You guys smoke. What?
Fucking so also, I dedicate this to Joe of WXIQ radio station. Fucking thanks a lot for coming out, checking us out. This tune is called Devious Liberation. This tune goes out to our friends Hazarax, fucking sick Jack right here. This also goes out to friends of mine I've been writing to in Michigan for over a year. Fucking Fatal, man. Give them a fucking hand because they fucking kill and they're gonna fucking prove it. This goes Ex Mortis and also Primeval. These all kill. It's an honor to fucking play with you, man. Fucking, you gotta do it again. Also, this goes out for a bunch of guys who fucking been really helpful with everything. It's fucking Decay. And I want to thank them for fucking 150% fucking support from them. And last but not least, our buddies from Maryland, Corpse Grinder, Baltimore, Maryland. This goes out to the fucking audience for showing up. We really appreciate it. Especially those of you who bought tickets in advance. It's been a help. This tune's called Cremating Hate.